You know what day it is, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Sunday.
As in Kevin and Josh.
But I'm the ladies, in case you didn't know.
Are you ready to rumble, guys? Are you ready to talk about sports balls?
I was gonna say someone start playing the Coach's Corner music.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know Coach's? Oh, you're American. You're
American. You don't know sports ball.
That's not even sports ball, dude. That's round hockey puck.
It's fucking sports puck.
It's Iceman.
Oh no. So for those listening, for the first time in quite some time, back in episode 8, Kevin and Josh are actually going to be able to talk to each other.
Alright, look, I forgave Josh. He ate my panini. We were fighting. We had to be separated. It's over. It's not my fault he's a gross asshole who ate my panini.
I can't help it. I was hungry, okay? You know,
it had my name in the fridge.
Yeah, well, my name also has an E in it, so I figured I'll take it.
It does not, actually.
Not my first name.
Fair.
Yes, this is episode 12. And this was Kevin's pick. The topic is sports.
That totally backfired in my face,
sports.
by the way.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, you didn't want to play half these games?
No, I wanted to play them, but I had 2 games in mind, and then JD's like, they're not old enough. I was like, fuck! So
I don't want to pick this anymore.
I know, I was too committed. I was like, shit. But it worked out. I like the games I picked.
Yeah, the games you picked were pretty dope. Not gonna lie.
I tried my best.
My games were dumb.
So I was actually quite excited when you mentioned this. If you couldn't get my reaction from the last podcast episode, where I'm just like, oh my god, I love sports. I love sports games. I can't wait to play sports games.
Yeah, they're cheap enough.
I like to pretend to be physically active. It takes away from the fact that I have a belly.
Yeah, all these games are basically under $10.
Yay, $10.
Which is the best part. This is the most affordable episode of this podcast ever.
Outside of console cost. But we won't get into that today.
Yeah, fair enough.
Even the console costs.
Unless you use some alternative methods to play these games.
Yes, not like an emulator, but more like your friend's console, correct?
Right, yeah,
yeah.
Well, there was one game I definitely had to emulate.
Emulating is bad, JD. How dare you?
Piece of shit.
I had. Well, how many people have that console? Which we'll get to later. That'll be the last game we cover for sure.
I don't know, man. The PSX is a pretty common system.
Wrong. Okay.
PSX.
No, this annoys me. The PSX is not a PS1. Those are 2 different things.
You can deal with it.
They are.
The PSX was a PS2 that was also like a DVR in Japan.
There you go.
So there. Stop calling it a PSX, you fucking casuals.
Casuals. Well, this is great. The timing of this episode couldn't be better since the baseball playoffs are going on right now. Hockey just started.
Yep.
And somehow the Leafs are a contender.
For now.
Which I don't understand quite yet. I don't believe it.
But so is Vegas.
So are the Vegas Golden Knights. The MLS playoffs are right around the corner. They're about to start soon.
Yeah, who cares about MLS, right? Am I right, boys?
I don't know what any of these teams are even mentioning. So
Major League Soccer.
Major League Soccer, buddy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then in August, all the major soccer leagues started around the world.
And let's not forget, it's NFL Sunday currently right now.
Currently, yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers just got carted off the field.
You got that too? Goodbye, Fairy.
According to Kevin, he just needs to put his pads on better or something.
Yeah, well, that's what they're there for. I still think you shouldn't be getting hurt in football if you're playing it right.
I don't like Aaron Rodgers, but that's not here nor there.
I'm just saying, my sport doesn't have any pads, and nobody's getting hurt. That's all I'm saying. I tore both my knees. That's a lie.
I give you props, though. I couldn't do... what is it? Jiu-jitsu?
Yep.
Fuck that, dude. I don't want to get kicked in the face.
It's just like involuntary yoga for the other guy.
Fair enough.
Involuntary yoga.
Hashtag hug life. Get it trending on Twitter. Tag me and Kevin. Hashtag hug life.
Challenge for the episode. Got it.
Yeah, so the agenda we're going to go through is we're just going to talk about some sports we watch, some passion that we might have through for a particular one. Then some of the sports we play, such as Kevin doing some jiu-jitsu or involuntary yoga.
Yes,
Fair enough.
Then we'll just kind of go over some other sports games that should be mentioned, and then we'll go into our topic. So this is a sporty event.
Big time sporty sports.
Yeah, so it's been a while, guys. All three of us were together.
Yeah,
Josh, especially you. What's been going on lately?
I've been fucking pumped up the asshole with a bunch of responsibilities. It sucks, man. I just started classes. Just started college, so I've been fucking going through all that. I haven't been feeling well. My dad got married recently, so I wasn't able to do anything with all that. So I've been busy for the past few, however many podcasts, and I apologize for that to all the listeners. Not to JD, though, just the listeners.
Oh,
Yeah. Fuck
No,
'em.
I apologize. I've been really busy. But I am making time now for the podcast because I do miss sitting around for hours on end talking with you guys and telling you guys why you're wrong and, why JD's picks usually aren't the best, but,
The listeners have missed your sass towards me and the double team
give him the
attack that you and Kevin have on me, apparently.
the poop. This podcast is about to be lit.
Ooh.
Back to that.
Never got off that.
Oh, goodness.
Isn't it October in 2017? Didn't that fad go away? That word's gone.
It's not a
Never
fad,
go
it's a
away.
lifestyle. Alright?
You can't choose irony. Irony chooses you.
Oh, is that so?
Just like Pokemon.
Oh, my God.
So what games have you been playing besides the podcast games, Josh?
I've dabbled in Pubig, or PUBG for those.
Yeah.
Pubig, right? Yeah.
I've been trying to do my live streams, but I haven't been able to even do that. So I've been trying to play Final Fantasy 13 in my own time. I got Persona 5.
I want to play it so bad.
Ooh.
I haven't really played much video games. I haven't had much time. Like, the only video games I really played would be like a game or two here or there of League of Legends with a few friends. And the games that we're doing for the podcast are basically the only time I've had to play video games. Responsibly, anyway.
Fair enough. So I take it then you haven't dabbled in Fortnite at all?
No, I know we were talking about it after you guys finished the one podcast. I downloaded it on my PS4. I'm actually having connection issues on my PS4. I don't know if I'm the only one. I'm not able to connect to the internet on it, but I downloaded it. I just haven't played it yet, but it looks freaking fun.
Yeah, I like the Fortnite.
I like it more than PlayerUnknown's, personally.
I like half of it. Like, there's just... Like, I know that the game wasn't built around originally being the PvP thing, but, like, building is just completely worthless in that.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just like
The
you just-
actual game is fun.
Yeah, but, like, you just make a lot of noise otherwise and give your position away. So, like,
Yeah.
you just don't hit circle in that game. But that is a great game to edit, too. Because, like, I just pop it on between rounds, or between rounds I'll edit. And I got, like, 5 videos done.
Nice. I haven't even been making any videos lately for Power Chord. It's been quite some time since we did anything for that.
Fortnite's a good way to get back into making stuff. It's just like a quick video you can make real quick. You're like, let's see if I die.
Yeah, probably will, though. Let's be honest here.
Because I suck.
Because I'm not stealthy. I'm the guy in PUBG who likes to go around with the car and honk the horn.
It's the best way to play that. But like, I'm kind of
really
bored of Fortnite at the same time already. Like,
I get bored of those battle royale games.
it's like fun, but
almost
that's why I don't play
immediately.
like online shooters, because like I get in it and I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I'm bored. Like, I want a story. I need an end goal.
It's kind of like how I feel. Oh, that's the other thing. I got the Madden 18, I believe we're on. I actually got the new football game, so this is relevant.
Ooh.
They have a storyline, but the storyline is kind of dumb. You play...
Oh, I kind of liked it.
The storyline was... I don't know. It depended. Like, knowing as much... I don't want to toot my own horn here, but like knowing as much as I did about football, I was playing it and it's like, this would be fucking stupid for people who have no idea what football is.
Well, then why would they buy that game?
That's what I mean. Like, I mean, they can get a good deal on it and get the game, no problem. But the story mode, if you like, you can like playing football, and that's one thing, but to actually know like play calling and what the safeties do and what each position does, if you're just playing the game to play the game, then that story mode is confusing to some.
Have you ever seen Pro Jared's review of Madden 17?
No, actually.
He reviews it like it's an RPG. He's like, I don't understand my party. Like, all these guys look the same. I can't tell what class they are. But like, it was some April Fool's video he did, but it was so funny. He treated it like it was like Diablo.
Nice.
It was awesome. That's why I want to play every football game.
Fair, yeah, I would play it like that too. But I got one friend that I play football with all the time, and I just trash the kid all the time. And that's all I use Madden 18 for, is to play my one friend and beat the shit out of him. And now I'm trying to justify buying the new hockey game so I can trash him in that too, but I don't want to just drop a pretty penny on those games.
Yeah, you can. I mean, sports games come out every year. You can it's almost like you could wait till next year and then just buy this year's version.
But then I won't be able to see my character in the highest of graphics.
In my defense, though, the last one I played was NHL 15, so I haven't played for quite some time.
Yeah, like I didn't.
I actually played a good deal of NHL 18 since it's come out. The franchise mode is quite fun.
Yeah,
they have an expansion draft.
Oh, okay.
So the Golden Knights have an expansion draft, but then you can create your own team and have its own expansion draft as well.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's a really cool feature. You draft a player from each team, and you just go from there and build the team up from that.
Huh.
You know, as opposed to what, I don't know, what you guys would do in a sports game, but the franchise mode, I was always do a fantasy draft.
Yeah.
And just go from there. But this expansion draft is a cool little new feature.
I personally like to take the franchise and try to tear it apart and then try to rebuild it.
So you're the Edmonton Oilers every time?
Basically that, or Toronto 3 years ago.
I don't get these references, but damn, he gave you the business.
Get a business.
See, I can't even buy a sports game.
Kevin, for your sake, the Edmonton Oilers is a hockey team in Alberta, Canada, and they're synonymous with being the worst team in hockey over the last, what would you say, Josh, 20 years?
Well, I don't know about 20 years, but I'd say recently the past, 7 to 8.
Like, how many number one or top 3 first round picks do you have to get before you have a winning team?
That's easy. Connor McDavid is all you need.
All you need is Connor McJesus.
Yeah, and you don't even need to trade away Darnell Nurse, trade away Taylor Hall, which they've done, and turns out Taylor Hall is actually a draft lottery expert, which is why New Jersey got the first pick this year. Did you see that tweet? When as soon as he went to New Jersey and the Devils got the first round pick this year, Taylor Hall tweeted out basically saying, I could put lottery draft expert on my resume now.
Yeah, hasn't he been in the top 2 picks since he's been in the league?
Don't get me wrong, Taylor Hall is a good player ever since he was drafted from Windsor. Just saying. He's been a good player. He had the bad case of being on a shitty team, kind of like a lot of players.
And now he's on another shitty team.
Yeah, but I mean, he's on a slightly better team, so it's like a more polished turd, you know. But every time I watch a Devils game and they end up losing or something, I go, they miss Broder, they miss Broder.
They can hear you through the TV. So.
Good. Fuck them. God damn, New Jersey Devils fans.
So this isn't exclusive to hockey or anything, but you know what I really hate when it comes to any kind of watching sports? It's like when people speak as if their team, like they talk about it in first person. Like every time I go to class, everyone's like, "Oh, the game we played on Sunday was terrible." I'm like, "Why are you here if you're a professional football player?"
Yeah,
you shouldn't be here.
What have you done? Yeah.
Like, were you there? Like, no, but like, you know, we're all part of the team. You think about it, I'm like, yeah, you're making millions right now. I get that. That's it's good. And like they get like super invested as if like their livelihood rides on like a team winning or losing, which I never got because like I don't watch a lot of team sports, but like when I go watch fights or something, it's never I'm like, man, we knocked out your guy last week. Like I didn't do anything. Like I was just there watching. Like,
well, the thing about team sports is the team is a part of the community that they play in. So, and they represent the city or town or whatever it may be, and you are a part of the city. So it feels like this team is representing you.
Okay, I get that, but I didn't join a gang.
It's honestly, it all comes down to like sports makes people feel like they're in like a tribe. It's like a tribe mind, and it's honestly the most confusing thing because I've spoken with a few other friends, and it's like, why do we even have a favorite team? They don't even know who we are.
Well, it's only that. If you change your favorite team, you're a shithead. Because maybe you don't like the team you're rooting for. Oh, no, you're a bandwagon fan because your team sucks. I'm like, yeah, the team sucks, so I'm not going to waste my time anymore with them. Yeah. Like, to me, that just seems logical. So the next thing being, like, say you like one player, especially from a team, and, like, he goes to another team. So you're like, I like that guy now. It's like, oh, now you're just a bandwagon. It's like, no, I like what Randy does. Like,
those are the unrational, or the unrational. I don't even think that's a word, but fuck it. Unrational.
The best way to watch any kind of sport is to take the mascots and see who would win in a real life fight. And that is who I root for during that game. Like, if the Giants are playing Patriots, I mean, Giants are pretty big, but if the Patriots have guns and muskets, like, you know, kind of gets...
So when March Madness rolls around, you fill out your bracket with the whole mascot.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Chargers are playing. Well, they're just going to be charging some batteries. I guess you have like a risk of electric shock, so that can come into play.
But the Oakland Raiders, they're Raiders though.
Well, what are they raiding?
They're raiding San Diego.
So they're raiding a bunch of Chargers?
Well, amongst other things.
I mean, they seem like they're going to be too busy trying to steal stuff instead of playing the sports ball. So I'm probably going to not go with them.
Fair enough.
The Raiders better change their name when they go to Vegas, but it's not going to happen. Because now it's just going to seem like they're raiding people of their livelihoods.
Fair enough.
They move around a lot, don't they?
So does L.A., the Rams.
You mean St. Louis?
Is it St. Louis again? I don't know. I don't remember what the fuck the teams are anymore.
Well, they were originally the St. Louis Rams, then they went to LA, then they went back to St. Louis, and now they're back in LA.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's so confusing.
Because LA has proven to be able to have football teams, let alone two.
Yeah.
In the same city.
Yeah.
Kevin, I don't know if you've seen pictures of whether it's the Chargers or Rams games this year. But they're building this brand new stadium. It's not finished yet. And they're already... It hasn't even been... Josh, has it even been 4 weeks of a season yet, or 5?
We're going into week 5, the NFL season, I believe.
Yeah, and they're already talking about the Chargers leaving LA again because they can't sell tickets.
Maybe you guys should stop sucking so bad.
Maybe you shouldn't put a football team in LA.
Yeah, there's probably like schools that need money, you know?
That's like putting a hockey team in desert, coyotes.
Listen, you've never seen that movie where the Jamaican bobsled team comes and wins the Olympics, have you?
No, they competed in the Olympics.
Oh, I thought they won.
Nope, they definitely did not.
Well, that's a shitty-ass movie. Fuck this movie. What kind of lesson is there?
I would just like to update you guys, well, mostly JD maybe, that the Detroit Lions are getting their asses kicked by New Orleans, 45-10 right now.
Sounds about right.
Houston is beating the Cleveland Browns 33-10 in the fourth quarter.
What's a brown anyway?
Well, I mean, it's Cleveland, so they had nothing better but the color brown.
Yeah, but they were just like, they looked around, they're like, oh, we need a team name. The guy's like in the shitter, and he's like, looked down, he's like, I got it. We're gonna call it the Browns.
Oh my God.
I would have said a different reason, but we're not. That's not allowed on the airwaves.
It's also fucking messed up, you dick.
I associate the city of Cleveland with sports disappointment,
and that's why they're the Browns, because they keep shit in the bed.
Hey,
Kevin, do you like football at all?
I'll watch it, but I don't follow every stat.
Fair
in,
enough.
Like, every player's life. Like, if it's on, I'll be like, I know what's going on. I know the rules.
Because New England Patriots are beating the New York Jets 24-14 right now in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, these are all expected scores. Nothing surprising at all.
But I did watch football. All right, I forced myself to watch football to be cool in the 6th grade. I got real bored, real fast.
Oh boy,
yeah,
I blame you.
I did like the Jets.
I'm missing football for this, but it's okay. I miss you guys.
Hey. I could be playing Ass Creed. It's fun.
Don't tell JD.
Speaking of other games we're playing, I'm playing Assassin's Creed 4.
Ew.
That's a good game, sir.
Don't you ew me. I was put off by 3 so bad.
This is why I ate your fucking panini, because you play stupid games like Assassin's Creed.
You know what? Are you hungry right now, Josh? Are you hungry now? Eat a dick.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was playing Assassin's Creed 4. That is an addiction. I don't know. I like it a lot better. Like, Edward is probably my new favorite assassin in this whole series. He just doesn't give a shit. It's kind of awesome. Especially after Connor was such a little whiny bitch.
Wasn't Assassin's Creed 3 the pirate one?
No, 4 is the pirate one.
Oh.
3 is the American Revolution, which I was like super amped for, and then they just fucked it up. Like, it was just bad. It was boring.
Oh, I mean, in all fairness, they're all pretty boring. Isn't the new one supposed to be based in Egypt?
Yeah, and
yeah, Ass Creed Origins. I'm actually gonna get it too.
Yeah, it actually looks good. They have a lot of RPG elements, which I'm kind of a fan of.
Huh.
And it looks like it's gonna play exactly like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Or it's gonna play exactly like Prince of Persia and become full circle with Ubisoft.
Prince of Persia. That was a good game.
Yeah, not anymore.
Well, yeah, but when it was awesome.
I kind of want to crossover with those two.
I've been making my way through Horizon Zero Dawn for the second time on the hardest difficulty level.
I still haven't played an hour.
It is hard. It's really, really. If there's 2 of those robot animals in the vicinity of me, it's just run away as fast as I can every time.
You know what?
Just never seem to have enough equipment to take them down.
If I didn't have homework to do, I'd probably play that after I'm done this.
It's a fucking good game. That's my game of the year, easily.
I've only played it for like an hour, so I still have Zelda.
I haven't touched that yet.
Breath of the Wild or Persona 5. Persona 5 it's so fun.
I saw my buddy playing it. I liked what was going on. There's a lot of things going on in that game, though.
I like how open it is. I love RPGs that can do that responsibly. Plus, I mean, like, if visually, it's just beautiful, especially when you're in like the Shadow World.
I would play more of that.
That's always been the case with Persona games.
I love 4 so much.
Since Persona 3.
I never played 3 or 4.
They're better.
Well, I mean, probably.
Persona 5 is really good, but it's still not. I don't think it holds a candle to 3 and 4.
Huh.
Besides making my way through HZD, haha. See what I did there? Made an acronym.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what?
I've been playing old Sierra games.
What?
Oh yeah, that's right. You played Space Quest.
King's Quest and Space Quest. Are you familiar with these games, guys?
I don't have the patience to play a game like that, so I commend you for doing it. The closest I ever played was a thing called Peasant's Quest on HomestarRunner.com.
What?
Exactly. It was a parody.
Josh, are you familiar with old like point and click and text adventure games?
Oh, those kind of games. I could play certain ones, but I usually get bored pretty quickly.
It's the ADD in me, man. I can't just click on things and hope they work.
For me, it's not the ADD. It's just so much like there's nothing going on.
You have to just click and hope. And
That's
the
not
puzzles
engaging
normally
enough.
don't make sense. It's just like, if I use this vacuum cleaner on this fan, I'll open up a secret door.
Yeah. Isn't that fun?
No, that's why I don't like the original Resident Evils.
Actually, what was really funny, since we're talking about puzzle games really quick, I had a friend over last night who never played PT, so I had them play that. Scared the shit out of them. I love making new friends because they come over and they play PT. And they're at the part. Have you guys played PT?
No.
Josh, I played it at your place.
Okay, fuck off, JD, man. I know that, okay?
I am too scared to play that. I'm playing Outlast, and that's already too scary, so I can't imagine PT.
I didn't have Outlast, or I would have had my friend play that. Anyways, so there's a part where you gotta go around and find these parts of a picture that are hanging up. Like, there's a picture on the wall that's been torn, so you have to find these little picture pieces. But it's Hideo Kojima who is developing the game, so you know it's in some tough spots. Like, one's right immediately underneath it, one's in a plant, one's by a phone. One's up on the roof somewhere, one's underneath some stairs, and then so my friend was looking for this last piece, and I wasn't telling my friend at all where it was. And what you have to do is you actually have to press the options button, or pause, or whatever you want to call it, and you have to press R3 on the pause menu, and that's how you find the last part.
That's weird.
Yeah, how would you figure that out?
Well, see, that's the thing. I hate like shitty puzzles and games like that, where like I don't know, like I don't feel like that's a way to make a game anymore. Like I just can't. When we played Dino Crisis, I had to use a guide. Like I just the puzzles are too obscure.
Don't get me wrong, I love puzzle games. It's just when most puzzles, when they come out with the, well, how the fuck am I supposed to figure that out? Half the time I do end up figuring it out, but the other half of the time I get pissed off, and I hate using a guide. So
I'm over it. As an adult, I have to. That's how I beat Breath of Fire recently. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to beat worlding this open world on a Super Nintendo game right now.
Yeah, really.
Well, a lot of these Sierra games, the general idea behind the puzzle is each game is kind of like a theme of an old, say, fairy tale or old movie cliche moments. That's kind of where the humor comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like in the first King's Quest game, you go into a well. You dive into the well. You before you've gone into the well, you take the bucket from the well, and as you dive down, the bucket fills with water, as you can imagine, right? And then you come across a dragon and spitting fire. All right, well, how do you think you defeat the dragon?
Running away, it's a fucking dragon.
You throw the bucket of water at the dragon. Well, you can't. You can't just run away from the dragon. You need the mirror.
This is why women live longer
that the
than men.
dragon's protecting. So then you throw the bucket of water at the dragon. The dragon's fire breath gets put out, and then it's sad, and then it walks away because it's dejected.
Oh, because my answer wasn't logical.
Kind of like when you throw too many ninja stars at its face.
Also, yeah.
Well, that too.
It seems
so. That's kind of what the King's Quest games are. They're kind of fairy tale based, and the puzzles aren't too bad. But with these Sierra games, there's always a moment where if you've missed an item somewhere in the game, or you didn't do something quick enough because you didn't realize it was on a timer, then you pretty much have to restart the game.
Kind of like when you came down to Windsor, my one friend was playing the one game,
Alone in the Dark.
Yeah,
on the 3DO.
Yeah, he broke like a sword, and then he couldn't. You're like, yeah, you can't. You got to start the game over again.
That sounds shitty.
Yeah. F that.
Yeah. Well, these games, their longevity was you doing trial and error and trying to figure it out. You know?
Right. But that sounds just like
so once you figure out all these puzzles, you can go through these games in an hour or two.
It sounds very complex though. Like it's just the time I'd have to spend of like random combinations of making this work. Like it's for everybody, it's just not a Kevin game.
Like there was a moment in Space Quest 2 where it's pretty much at the beginning where a little like pink native creature gets caught in a trap, and I couldn't quite figure out the command to free him from this trap. So I was like, I'll figure it out later. Well, I came back after I'd figured out a ton more puzzles, and he was gone. I was like, cool, all right, he got away. Then just over the halfway point in the game, you fall out of a cave system, and there's a bunch of those little pink creatures, and you can't get past them. They just keep killing you. So I'm like, what is happening here? And then it occurred to me, I didn't save the creature, so I bet if I go back, save the creature, then they'll let me pass, and that's exactly what happened.
See,
but I had to restart all the way back to that point.
Yeah.
That's why there's this saying with Sierra games, save often.
I think that's just a mantra for anything on a computer. Or anything in a video game, really.
Yeah.
I've gotten into that.
Save a lot, save often.
I've gotten into a habit of double saving every time I get to a save point.
Yeah, because you're just afraid you might get stuck in a place, or even an autosave might block you out of an area.
That, or like my game might crash, which has happened quite a fucking few times in my live streams.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, me and live streaming just don't get along anymore, I've learned.
it's cool. And then I got a few new games recently. Retro games, since we're a Retrocast, right?
Hell yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, buddy of mine just gave me Silent Hill,
Nice.
the very first one.
Nice.
And then I got a couple of Master System games he kind of included with that, Quartet and RC Grand Prix.
Didn't we do one of those? Didn't we? No,
No.
we didn't do RC Grand Prix.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just...
It's not bad stuff. Got a few new 3DO games since moving to Rhode Island. I got a Psychic Detective.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's basically a movie, and you're figuring out puzzles, but you're playing along with a movie.
Oh, kind of like Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Which, in
Pretty
my
much like
opinion,
that.
was a waste of money.
Whoa!
Oh, I really like that game. It's very
You
campy.
can go be wrong somewhere else.
Listen, okay? We can't all be perfect, okay?
Yeah, no, not every game's Uncharted 2 Among Thieves.
I've never played that one either.
Well, then that's why you have bad taste in games.
Yeah? Well, fuck you then. Ha, fucking got him. 808 horn.
You told him.
Get Shrek.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, what do you guys? What sports are you guys passionate about that we can rant?
Punching people in the face.
All right, so let's rant about that. Why do you do it, Kevin?
Why do I do it, or why do I watch it? Well,
Why do you watch it? Why do you
I
do
don't know.
it?
It's just like I mean, real reason. As a young fat child, I literally wasn't good at any sport. Like I tried basketball, sucked. Tried baseball, got hit by the ball a lot. Not really hit the ball back. Soccer, too much running. Fuck it. Football, figured I was a bigger kid. I can make it work. I just sucked at them all. And by the time I got to high school, I was like, I'm gonna try wrestling now because I was watching a lot of WWE. And my parents were like, it is not the same thing.
No, it definitely is. It's wrestling.
Yeah, no. And then I don't know. I fell in love with it, and then it got me in shape. And there's just, I think my coach said it the best. Like every other sport is a euphemism for this sport. Like it's like war. Like, oh, we got to get the ball down the field, and like you're gonna tackle somebody. It's like, let's just skip the middleman and just beat the shit out of that guy instead. And I was just like, you know what? That's a good point. Like,
Let's just beat him up and then we'll take the
yeah. And then it just kind of evolved from there. And once like wrestling was over, I kept doing it as a post high school graduate. I was like, nah, there's got to be something more than this. And I was watching MMA a lot, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. So I started getting into that, and like there wasn't this weird. I was gonna say culty, but like if you do any kind of martial art, it gets kind of culty. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like if I don't watch one fight on, people are like, dude, you don't know the statistics of this guy and the head kicks in the third round if it's raining on a Friday, like what his percentage is. It was just like you just watch two guys, you're like, that guy's got a beard, we'll watch him, I hope he wins. Like it was just simple. You walked in, you walked out, and that was it. It wasn't stat following, it wasn't all these crazy things that are in other sports.
In Kevin's case, walks in, beats the shit out of people, walks out with gold. Am I right?
Yeah, essentially.
Am I right?
Actually, the last two tournaments, I only got like silver and bronze, and so I'm dropping out of heavyweight.
You're a quitter.
I am.
That's okay.
So, I'm on a diet right now. It sucks.
Yeah, tell me about it.
But yeah, I don't know. I love it, and I do play a lot of. Well, I play a lot of MMA video games now, but you know, I don't buy them every year because it's the same thing every year.
So who's your favorite fighter you like watching?
George St. Pierre, who's coming back on the 4th for a fight, and I'm probably gonna miss it. Yeah. My brother's deploying for another country to serve us. Whatever. So I'm probably gonna miss that, but I don't know. But that's the thing. Like,
I bet you're gonna kneel down during the national anthem at your next tournament too.
I'm gonna be like, fuck this guy. He made me miss my favorite fighter's return fight. Funny enough,
I'm protesting.
Speaking of George St. Pierre, that's a great protest. So when I was
You're disrespecting our troops. Damn right, my brother sucks. You left.
Fucking hate my brother.
brother's a dick. No, it's weird. Actually, this comes back to video games. So, speaking of George St. Pierre, the place I used to be training at, our head coach would help George get ready for his fights, and like, I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe one day I'll, like, meet the guy or something. That'd be kind of cool. So I go to work at a video game store, and my boss was a super cool guy. Like, I still talk to him. Him and his wife used to live in Vegas. And they go to see Captain America Super Soldier one day, and George St. Pierre's in that movie. So they're watching, like, the fight scene, and she goes, oh, I know that guy. And my boss goes, what the fuck do you mean you know that guy? I was like, yeah, it's George St. Pierre. I dated him right before I was dating you. He goes, why the fuck would you dump a professional fighter making millions of dollars for a dude that owns a video game store? She's like, oh, he got kind of clingy and weird. So he's just like, you're telling me I beat out George St. Pierre for you. He's like, I'm just going to get a mold of my dick on our fireplace and just be like, this beat out George St. Pierre. And she's like, please fucking don't. Like, yeah, we called him actually and confirmed. He's like, yeah, I remember Natalie. She was a nice girl. Like,
she was a nice girl.
He has a really thick French Canadian accent. Like, very, very thick. So that's my story.
How long you been doing jiu-jitsu now?
4 years, I want to say. And then, like, grappling.
It's not as long as I thought. You had been doing it.
If you do wrestling and grappling together, it's probably like 11. So, it's pretty cool.
Very nice.
I'm kind of a big deal. You know, people know me.
Like I said, hashtag hug life.
Hug life.
What's your favorite fighting game? Video game?
I mean, a fighting game.
If you don't say Street Fighter, you're wrong.
Well, no, I love Street Fighter, but like it's a tie between Super Street Fighter, the one with all the characters, because I don't see why you'd play a different one, or modern-wise. So I have this weird conundrum where I think the old Mortal Kombats are shit, and the older Street Fighters are good, and over time they've switched places. Like, I think, like, Street Fighter 4 and 5 are kind of weak, and, like, the newer Mortal Kombats are really good. So, like, Mortal Kombat XL is, like, my top right now. But then the king of all is Tekken.
Tekken? Yes.
I love Tekken. King is best character.
Tiger Mask?
Yeah.
Dino Head is the best one.
He's not in 7.
Oh, I haven't played Tekken 7. The last one I played was on PlayStation 1.
3 was probably one of my favorite ones because of Tekken Ball mode.
Huh.
I love Tekken Ball.
Kickball?
No, it was kind of like Kickball, but if you let the ball hit the ground, you get electrocuted and then die.
Ooh, my favorite way to go.
Yeah, buddy.
What
about you, Josh? What are some sports you're passionate about? Sports you play? Sports games? Sports?
I love sports as it is. I'm really passionate about football and hockey. Not as passionate as most. I like to think I'm just like a hockey and a football fan. So I kind of like everything evenly, but I like one team better than the others kind of deal. I play hockey and I've played football since, well, I stopped playing football when I graduated high school because I was kind of over it. I didn't want to keep pursuing it because I had committed to it for like 10 years. So I was kind of over the whole thing. And that's why I started.
A lot of people do that, man.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I really wanted to commit myself, I'm sure I could have done something with it. But I didn't really want to keep carrying on with it because I liked football, but I didn't like football enough to do it every day, you know? So yeah. I also was starting to really get into hockey at that point, and that's when I started. I started playing hockey about 4 years ago. And that's when I first bought all my goalie stuff and I started playing ice hockey, and that's when I started getting to the finer points of hockey itself. So usually when I can, I'll try to catch like football and hockey games whenever I can. Obviously I can't now because we're doing the podcast, so I gotta miss the Patriots play.
I feel like you're blaming somebody here.
Oh, no. I wouldn't do that. No, but I really love football. It's the thing that's been in my family for a long time. It's something I can talk with, like, my dad and my family, like the males in my family about, because the females don't like sports in my family.
Because women, am I right, guys?
And hockey's just, I love hockey because one of my favorite things to do is actually talk about hockey with other people, especially older fans. Because they're always like, yeah, Rocket Richard was so much better than Wayne Gretzky. It's like, what? How can you even say that? Yeah, PK Subban is better than Bobby Orr. Okay, how can you say that? Okay, okay, let's be honest here. Okay,
everyone's entitled to their opinion. God.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, well, those are wrong.
You know, I never thought about it like that. Thanks.
So yeah, it's just sports is one of those things that's I don't know. It's honestly everywhere, especially in the city I live in. It's just like with Toronto, with you when you lived in Toronto. It was literally everywhere. You couldn't go down the street without hearing about Toronto sports, or in my case, it'd be Detroit or Toronto or Montreal or Ottawa, or it's all over the place where I live.
Absolutely. What are some of your favorite teams? No, I'm still in Toronto for at least 2 more weeks here.
There we
by
go.
the way,
my favorite team for hockey is the St. Louis Blues, which I know is out of nowhere. My favorite
yeah, it's quite different.
Well, it's my favorite player is Alexander Pietrangelo. So that's why I started to like that team. I used to be a huge Red Wings fan, but then I started watching more Blues because I really, like I said, like Pietrangelo. So I started getting onto them. My favorite football team, like I was saying, was the New England Patriots. But I'm not the kind of guy who'd be like, yeah, we played such a good game on Sunday.
Well, you were there. You played.
Yeah, right? I was on the field. I was Tom Brady in the flesh. Yeah. So
you and Tom Brady had a night together.
I threw that 80-yard bomb. So
you did, and we would have caught it if you weren't in the way.
Yeah, so
we would have got that touchdown.
Yeah, so that's we got a great group of guys out here, but sometimes we just get some unlucky bounces.
Harder than we sports.
Yeah, and I make more money than some third world countries. So
yeah, so enough.
So yeah, and I like CFL too, only because Canadian obligation, and for that I like the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So nothing, I don't really like any local sports teams except for like the Windsor Spitfires, and even still I don't like them. I like the St. John Sea Dogs.
Sweet.
So
your ties to these teams baffle me.
Yeah.
As the type of fan I am.
Like for me, I liked when I started watching like the CHL. It was like Windsor was playing St. John's or something, and St. John kicked the fuck out of Windsor, and I was like, that was cool, and I like their jerseys. Let's watch these guys.
See, Josh, you break the rule that most people follow. Actually, before I say this, are either of you religious at all?
No.
Okay, so I heard this great analogy. It's like people in religion are like sport teams. Where you're born is kind of who you're rooting for, and everyone else is wrong. And like I'm listening to Josh, like he's just all over the place. Never mind.
Yeah, like I live like I don't know if JD knows where Windsor is. I don't know if you know where Windsor is, but
no idea.
Basically, I'm just north of Detroit.
Okay.
So the fact that I don't like any Detroit teams, I don't like. And if I were to like baseball, I'd have to say I like the New York Yankees. Ugh. But I don't like baseball, and if I liked, actually the only local team I guess I would say I liked would be, if I like basketball but I don't like basketball at all, would be the Toronto Raptors.
Well, that's a Canadian team, I guess.
That's like the only Canadian team I think.
Yes.
There we go, confirmed. 2017.
Matrix was a documentary.
Yeah.
The Vancouver Grizzlies used to exist.
Fair enough, and of course they'd be the name of the fucking Grizzlies.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, so my allegiances are all over the place, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
And it's just because of that's what you just watched?
Like when
it's just circumstances just get you to watch those teams, or
yeah,
what?
Like when my first football game I remember watching was like the Patriots were playing something, and I first thought like, wow, I really like that logo. Now keep in mind I'm like 8 when I'm watching this. Like, wow, that's kind of cool. Like the guy's fucking holding on to the football. He's bent over in his 2-point stance, and then they kick the shit out of the other team. So like, wow, I'm gonna watch these guys. So that's that. St. Louis again. I went on that. Rough Riders was when I first watched the CFL. I actually met Durant. I can't remember now.
Duran. You met Duran.
Yeah. I met Durant and Getzlaff in Windsor. So they had the green jersey on it. With the high school I went to also had green jerseys. Like, oh shit, sweet, I'm gonna watch them. And then they won the Grey Cup that year. And I was like, nice.
I actually just went to an Argos game last weekend, and Toronto played Saskatchewan, and there was a lot of Saskatchewan fans there.
Yeah, it gets crazy. There's they won the Grey Cup like 5 years ago. They won the Grey Cup 3 years in a row, 2 or 3 years in a row.
I also found out that there used to be 2 teams called the Rough Riders. One just happened to not have a space in between Rough and Rider.
Yeah, so that's kind of my thing. New York Yankees, well, I mean, Babe Ruth, best baseball team in the league at the time when I was watching it, but someone's getting a call. How dare you interrupt this podcast?
Hello? Yes.
That motherfucker just answer us?
Yeah, good.
This guy is seriously taking a phone call in the middle of a podcast.
It's probably important.
It can't be all that important. You know how important we are?
I don't know. You haven't been here.
No, I haven't gotten around to it.
I mean, we haven't been on this podcast for
when I get around to it, I'll do
like,
it.
What, for 4 episodes now? And he abandons us for a fucking phone call?
He's probably talking
probably
about
tomorrow.
sports ball.
This is deplorable.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he keeps all of this in.
That's it. I'm
I
quitting.
know.
No, don't, just go dark for like a minute. There you go. Josh is pissed.
Yeah, just gone. Ghost.
Sorry about that. That was landlord calling me.
It's probably important then.
Yeah, big move coming up. Got shit to do. They're getting all in my face. Little side tangent. Find out how much more they're charging the apartment for the next people coming in.
Yeah.
$400 increase
Nice.
per month. That is insane what they're charging.
Sounds like Connecticut prices.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's why.
$400 more.
That's why I have to pay.
They're over 2,000 now.
Connecticut is a place that's way too expensive to live, which is why Kevin needs to get his own place.
Damn.
Well, sure, he's trying.
Which is why Kevin needs to move to Rhode
Not
Island.
this shit again.
Alright, I'm
Now
muting
God
that.
damn it, JD!
Now I'm pissed.
I'm muting that.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. You're keeping it in. Oh my god.
You better not mute any of the shit.
I'm telling you, there will be a mutiny. I'll quit, damn it.
Keep all of this.
Yes.
Wait, now he picked up? What was he doing before?
I'm ignoring this pixel. Hello? Are you kidding me right now? How unprofessional
I
can
know.
you be?
I'll get around to it when I get the chance.
Oh, he is pissed.
Yes, I have it.
Fucking give him the gears.
What?
Does he have your security deposit? Is the
God.
question.
These guys are irritating.
Give him the gears. Next time, if he calls again, you say, "Excuse me, motherfucker. I am doing a podcast right now."
Have you heard
doing with
of
your
the
life?
Red Leaf Retrocast?
Do you know how important I am?
Man.
I have 13 listeners.
I mean, yeah. Actually, we're over 150 a day.
Hey, that's pretty good.
On average.
Damn, that's almost
Yeah.
as much subscribers as I got on my channel.
I don't track my YouTube numbers anymore.
I go on YouTube every once in a while, be like, oh look, we got 181. Oh look, we have 182. How do we get to 179? What's going on here?
Yeah, I've bounced, like, from January to now, I've gained, like, 1 subscriber and left. I'm all about the VidMe team now. What a fam.
I was getting.
We should
quite
talk
into
about
live
those
streams.
games we played.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not interested in all the sports I have to say?
I thought that was with the hockey game. You were on the phone, motherfucker.
Yeah, you were talking to your landlord. You missed your opportunity.
Oh, you guys
Okay,
suck.
what sport? Okay, JD. What sports were you into?
I hate you.
I didn't know that was a sport.
I hate you.
Okay, let's try this again. Take 2. Hi, JD. What sports were you into? Okay, cool.
all
Let's
of
talk
them
about
except
our
football.
new games on this. Okay, Glenn.
My God.
Okay.
Well, if I got a phone call, I'll listen to JD in a second.
Yeah. Okay. Seriously though, what were you doing for sports? What are you passionate about?
Well, I like to think of myself as very athletic,
Of course you do.
and I consider myself quite athletic, natural talent for a lot of things. I pick up sports pretty easily.
I'm gonna wait before you do this. Bowling isn't a sport. You cannot drink a beer and do the sport and call it a sport.
Yes, you can. It's called hockey.
I know. You know, actually, bowling is a sport. Bowling's a hard sport.
There are many sports out there, Kevin. That's not just fighting.
Where?
Everywhere.
I got too much brain
you
damage
live in
from fighting.
Connecticut. I mean, so there's the broken window sport.
have you-
Oh, you're not. You're not wrong. Bridgeport's not too far away.
I didn't know we were talking about Detroit.
Bridgeport and Detroit, not very far off.
Okay.
You just need to go to Hartford, Connecticut, Josh, and then you'll understand.
Hey, we are also the world's leader in gas pumps without the pumps attached, okay?
Yeah, well, my city is the world leader in unemployment rate. What do you got to do about that?
London is my city. What does he say? England is my
man.
city? I can't remember.
Yeah, well, I grew up mostly in Texas, so as you can imagine, baseball is very popular there.
Football.
So I did baseball. I did baseball all through school, and I still do baseball leagues to this day. I used to play second base all through, and then now they got me at center field, so that's a different experience altogether. It's a lot of fun. Usually a leadoff hitter. I'm just a small guy, so in that sense. I did basketball all through grade school and junior high, and then didn't get picked for my high school team.
What?
But yeah, because they said I was too short to play.
I mean, you could have played shortstop.
The coach literally said to my face during tryouts my freshman year, "You're better than the guy we're choosing, but you're not tall enough."
Should have said, "Coach, I'll play shortstop. Fuck off."
It's basketball, Josh.
I thought you were on baseball still.
So you should have told him you should.
Still.
No. Like, play basketball. You should have been like, "I'll play shortstop." And said, "Coach, put me in. I know what I'm doing."
Yeah, basketball. Coach, I'm a sick quarterback. Come on.
Yeah, so that was really devastating to hear. I even filed formal complaints, and they just totally ignored it. So I was like, he's literally told me I'm better than the guy, but just because of my size. I mean, that's discrimination. If I've never heard it. A few years later, he had some controversy with other players as well, and he ended up getting fired.
Oh.
But that did ruin my entire high school opportunity to even play with the team. Then when I moved to Germany, I played for the school program there, and I was the best player in the region. So that was a lot of fun.
Does Germany even know what basketball is?
Yes, they do, Josh. There's even a famous German basketball player who's probably going to go into the Hall of Fame soon, called Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, but that's basketball. Who cares?
What's your? I don't understand your argument.
Just sports.
Sports ball, am I right?
Round ball,
So those were the two things that took up a good chunk of my life. I mean, I did tennis for a few years. I found it easy just hitting a ball into this massive square.
Somehow easier than ping
those
pong.
kind of sports where you're only as good as your opponent. Yeah. Like, it's only as competitive as much as your opponent makes it. I've never been too into those. So tennis was just, it always seemed too easy or too hard.
Yeah. Because
this guy I'd be facing was just such a high level. It's like, fuck, this guy's Roger Federer over here. Then here I feel like I'm playing a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
It just wasn't really all that fun to me. And bowling's been my entire life.
Bowling is really
from day one, and I still do it. I still do it weekly. Lots of sports injuries related to bowling I've had. Basketball for sure. That's the one that's injured me the most.
How do you injure yourself? Well, a lot of ways, actually.
Yeah, you can injure yourself in a lot. The people injure themselves just falling upstairs, like I did last night.
Actually, really quick little thing here, JD. There was a guy in my class who's also into bowling. And he's like, yeah, I got pretty serious into it. I went to a few tournaments. I was like, oh, so out of nowhere, I was like, yeah, have you ever heard of a guy? I won't say your full name. I was like, yeah, have you ever heard of JD? I didn't say JD, but I'm just going to say your full name. And he's like, oh, yeah, I've heard of that guy. Damn, he's real good. I was like, oh, well, I guess JD is pretty goddamn.
I didn't know I was that famous.
He's pretty good.
Well, then he might have been to the tournament in Windsor that I went to a couple months ago.
I'm not sure, but he's like, yeah, I've watched him bowl a few times. I've watched his things. Like, I've seen his name come up quite a few times. I was like, oh, JD actually is a shit to sniff at.
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I was on junior gold for a little bit, national level. I did national tournaments. I turned pro when I was in school in Germany. When I was in college, I wasn't. After I got injured from basketball, so I couldn't play for the team anymore, I said, well, fuck the NCAA. I'm going, amateur pro. I'm going to make money so I could afford school some more. So that's what I did. I traveled Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin tournaments, and just made money that way. And currently, it's my only source of income.
Hey, man, money's money, right?
Money's money. It's not a lot, and it's definitely not enough to pay the rent here, that's for sure.
To rent in Toronto is just... Ugh.
It's
baffling.
It is ass.
How can you charge so much for a box?
You gotta live in the box, that's how.
Yeah, true enough, I guess.
And the short version of what sports teams I root for, it's I always go back to just what is local, and the only exception is the Houston teams, because I was bullied heavily in school, and these guys who would bully me would be wearing Houston sports teams, so kind of got it in my head where, well, shit, I'm not going to root for that team.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, why would I root for the Houston Astros when this guy is beating the shit out of me with a Houston Astros cap on?
Because you didn't know me at the time. I would have helped you beat the shit out of him back.
So I was born in Utah, and a lot of the first games I ever went to, you know, whether it's the Utah Jazz, the Colorado Rockies, Avalanche, always root for those teams in particular from there. And so that means I don't like winning titles.
Fair enough, especially if you said Colorado.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, in the MLS, Colorado and Salt Lake each have won at least one title.
I mean, Colorado's going to win something.
You gotta win something eventually. And then since coming to Toronto, I've immersed myself in just everything Toronto, and love all the teams that are here. Toronto Argonauts and the CFL. Gotten into the CFL, never thought I'd say that.
CFL's been making a huge turn this year, though. At least in Canada.
Yeah, I hope they add a couple more teams, honestly. It just seems too shallow.
There's talk about adding a Hamilton team.
Yeah, I don't know if that's... Wait, the Hamilton Tiger Cats already exist.
Hamilton team. And Johnny Manziel's going to play for him.
Jeez. I don't know how that's going to work out, but anyways. Yeah. So I'm moving to Rhode Island, and God knows I'm not going to root for a Boston team. Ever.
Hey, you leave the Patriots alone.
I mean, well, they're kind of taking over all of New England. They're not just Boston. They have priorities.
Well, I'm living in New England, but yeah, I'm just going to keep rooting for the teams I always have. The one thing that bugs me the most about sports fans is bandwagon fans.
Yeah.
You know, I'll ask somebody what their favorite team is, and they go, the Yankees. It's like, have you been... Oh, okay, so your family's from New York. No. The first baseball game you saw as a kid was at Yankee Stadium. No. And it'll just go on and go, then how do you root for the Yankees? Oh, it's because they're good. Oh, well, shut up.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, maybe I just want to fucking change my favorite team. Like, I have an opinion. I don't have to do the rules.
I don't have to prove myself to you.
Yeah.
Now, as the passionate sports fan that I am, I just can't stand... I truly, I don't care who you root for, but I want more of a reason than just they're good. Or LeBron James plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, don't give me that. No one actually likes Cleveland.
No one actually likes LeBron James.
That's fair.
So, what are some of your some of you guys' favorite sports games?
Mine weren't picked.
Yeah, mine weren't new enough. To be honest, though, I don't really have like a favorite sports game. Sports games are kind of just like, yeah, I play the sport already, so it's not really
My absolute favorite sports game is Blitz the League, because that is just nonsense.
I mean, if I had to pick a favorite, I'd probably pick NFL Street.
Oh, both football games from you guys.
I mean, the UFC games are okay, but they always get the grappling wrong. So, like, it bothers me because that's the part I like the best.
Do you guys play the WWE games at all?
I'm not interested.
The last one I played was 2006, and it was because I like doing the general manager mode.
Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, like,
that was a fun game.
I just don't like WWE in general anymore because there's no more character or personality in it.
Yeah, there's a lot lacking in today's wrestling, but that's entertainment. It's not actually sports.
Like, it's like you had like guys who used to be like Kane, The Undertaker, like the ominous people. Yeah, these ominous people. Now it's just dude with first name and last name in tight pants.
Yeah, they're doing the WCW thing where everyone just has names.
I don't want that. Like, I want characters.
Eddie Guerrero.
I miss Eddie Guerrero a lot.
That was when I stopped watching about that time when he died.
I stopped around 2007.
That'd be about that time.
Triple H was my boy.
Well, now he runs the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I like Triple. I met him actually. He's a nice person in real life.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's all right. you also don't want to mess with him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Guy's jacked.
Yeah, the steroids will do that to somebody.
No, I pretty sure well, maybe at one time he did, but now he's pure workout all the time.
Yeah, that'll not have any long-term effects on his body anyway.
What about you, JD? What's your favorite sports game?
For the longest time, especially in college, it was always FIFA.
Ew.
That was always my go-to.
Ew, soccer.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, Josh, you have some experience with FIFA on the 3DO.
Yes, we've talked about that. That was too funny.
Did you ever play Mario Strikers ever?
Yeah, there's videos on YouTube of me getting my ass kicked too.
Yo, Mario Strikers is probably
Mario Strikers is pretty cool. I like that game too.
I know how to break it on GameCube though.
I like sports games, but like not like traditional sports games. Like Mario sports are fun because they're so different.
Yeah, they're right. Arcadey.
Yeah, so I like the more comical, goofy sports games, I guess. Like, have you guys ever played NHL 3-on-3?
No.
Wasn't that a feature in NHL 94?
I don't know if it's in 94. Well, no, it wasn't 94. It was on. I played on the 360, so it definitely wasn't then. But
maybe it was NHL 09 or something. It was a feature
but it was like I know it was actually a totally different game because like you have 3 players and they have small bodies and big heads. And the goaltenders were the same, and they had like different power ups. Like when you would check someone, you can get like laser shot or really fast skating or small goalies and stuff like that. Like it was just really goofy. It was really fun.
Do you guys consider Tony Hawk a sports game?
I don't know. That's a good question. I because it is a sport. It's an extreme sport. Like the Cool Borders games, snowboarding. I don't know if I would call them sports though. Maybe the extreme sports are just in a totally different category.
That's fair.
I think it just depends on your interest.
Yeah, none of us picked an extreme sport, I realized.
No, I was gonna pick Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. That just means a future topic, possibly.
I was gonna pick Tony Hawk Underground, but I don't know if it's old enough.
It's funny you bring that up. I actually had a long conversation about Tony Hawk games yesterday at lunch with somebody.
Okay.
I was like, man, they actually made like 15 of these Tony Hawk games.
Tony Hawk games are real popular.
Not so much anymore.
But
come on,
the whole skateboarding fad's pretty much over.
Come on, you guys didn't like Tony Hawk Ride though?
Excuse me?
Or Shred?
No. Oh man.
No.
Actually, frick. Next year we'll be able to do Tony Hawk Underground 1.
I stopped playing it 2 and only 2 because you could be Spider-Man.
That's when I stopped playing as well. Was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. Yeah. They got pretty samey to me. But in Underground, that's when you could like pick up beer bottles and throw them at people, I believe.
It was just fun. I like the story mode. It was just nonsense.
Yeah, well, was that also like Team Tony against Team Bam Margera?
Something like that, yeah.
Margera?
Yeah.
What?
Or is it Margera?
Yeah.
Margera, yeah.
Margera? Man, what was I thinking?
Riviera, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I was mixing 2 names together. So, well, speaking of FIFA, the U.S. did not qualify for the World Cup as a tangent. Before we go, yeah, oh my god. Embarrassing on a worldwide scale. It's so bad. I've been fuming for a solid week over the embarrassment that the U.S. showed.
I keep forgetting you're not a Canadian. You just live here. You don't even go here.
He's a bandwagon foreigner.
Yeah, you're a bandwagon Canadian fan. Get out of my...
Can you give me 15 days?
No,
we should build some kind of wall.
Yeah, I want to build a wall to make sure you don't come back. It would be a giant maple leaf on the border that says no JDs allowed.
Well, if you've noticed our symbol for the cast now, it's the leaf upside down.
So should we say our things upside down now? How do we even say that?
I don't know how you would say that.
I'm typing it in.
Oh god. Do you guys watch soccer at all?
Nope.
Because Toronto's the best team in the league this year for the MLS.
Quarterfelder. That's how you say leave Retrocast backwards.
That sounds like some kind of like phrase for like a cult.
It sounds like a spell.
It's Quarterfelder.
I love that Harry Potter movie.
It was the best one.
Oh god. No, so this is what happened, guys. The U.S. Had a lot of internal issues with their coach playing a lot of the younger guys, and then he got pissed off, and it was kind of a "you're fired, I quit" situation. And so they, instead of like calling it good, saying we can't do anything this year, our team's not good enough to really do much, they instead bring all the old players back, an old coach, attempt to make the World Cup, still shitty internal messing around, players clearly weren't into it, and they end up losing on home turf to a shitty team, and then they lose again later to Trinidad and Tobago, the rank like 102nd team worldwide, and don't qualify for the World Cup. While like if a country, Honduras and Iceland, can figure it out, how can a country with 300 million people can't?
Magic.
It's disgusting. And this whole excuse where, oh well, soccer's not as popular here. No, if a country the size of Corpus Christi, Texas has enough talent, then there has to be enough talent across 300 million people to at least compete.
Hey, I mean, you can't win them all, though.
You can't win them all, but you have to be able to beat goddamn Trinidad.
You could try. Some countries just aren't talented, okay?
Trinidad's not even talented.
Okay, I give up.
Like, America is supposed to be this we're the best kind of attitude.
Right.
And now all these excuses saying, oh, well, we don't care about soccer. It's like, well, don't you want to be the best in the world? Like, no, you can't tell me Trinidad's better than America.
Nothing's better than America.
Like, if you're gonna have this attitude, then you have to stick with it. And from what I'm seeing in Canada, the Canadian national team is making huge strides to be better.
Well, every year we have commercials about the female team.
The female team's already amazing, and the men's team's not doing so bad.
We'll get there.
Now in Canada, there's at least a decent excuse because 90% of the population plays hockey.
Yeah.
And there's never been a program.
Yeah.
In Canada, I don't think has even ever made a World Cup before, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know about that because I'm not a fan of soccer either.
So, the men's team, sticking with that, while the Americans have made a World Cup every time since 1986.
Except
so you're telling you can't make the same argument or comparison between the two countries. But from what I'm seeing, the Canadian national team is making great strides, and especially with the MLS and the Canadian Soccer League, the team's getting a lot better. I mean, they're competing with Jamaica and a lot of not so much Costa Rica, but they're competing with Panama and a lot of those island and Central American countries. So it's a good sign for Canada. Not a good sign for America, though. So that was my soccer tangent.
I know.
You guys ready to go into these games?
I'm ready to go into these games.
Shall we just hit, Kevin? Shall we just hit yours first and just go down the
Why
list?
you gotta hit me?
Because you hit others for fun.
You're not wrong.
So what was your first game, Kevin?
My first game was the Mutant League Footballs for the Sega Genesai. It's a fun story with this game.
Okay, go on.
I heard of a game called Blood Bowl.
Yes.
And Blood Bowl sounded real cool. And I was like, oh, man, I wonder if that's any relation to Mutant League Football. Not at all. Blood Bowl sucks. Mutant League Football, however, is
actually
cool.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most nonsensical, like, when EA was EA football game. They made this, and it was just like, man, like...
Well, they also made Mutant League Hockey. The same game, same engine, just hockey instead of football.
Yeah, but this is a better sport. Hockey's like burnt pancakes with sticks. We got it.
What are you talking about?
Whoa.
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 So this game actually is kind of expensive, but pro tip, if any of you have a PSP, there's a thing called EA Replay.
Yep.
And you can actually you can buy that version.
They ported it and they made it better graphics, didn't they?
Yes, they. It's slightly better.
I think it's just up-resed, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of samey, but I like it. It's just
Mutant League Hockey, I believe, is much cheaper.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But it's a nonsensical, violent football game where you play as mutants and it's football with beating the shit out of each other. It's fun, it's arcadey, it's pick up and play. You can do a career mode, I think. I just kind of did like quick plays a lot.
Yeah, I mean, as awesome as this game was, I found it was really easy to exploit the game.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, anything out of the backfield, like if you run any play out of the backfield, you got pretty much a 20-yard gain if you just ran to the sideline.
Yep.
And if you ran a blitz on defense, you stop the opponent basically every time.
Yeah, it's one of those...
Well, it's all about the intent to kill in that sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can kill the players, I believe, right?
Yeah, you can kill them. You can also kill the refs, too.
Fuck them.
And that's...
Dude,
that was... When you played, did you get the chance for the refs to be like, yo, I'll cheat for you? And like, flicking boogers, 5-yard penalty on the opposite team. You're like, oh, thanks, man.
Did not.
Yeah,
how did you do that?
The refs actually cheat for you. It's like, I don't know if it's like a set thing or if it's a random thing, but you could actually get refs to cheat for you. Like I was playing one, and it was like, thanks for the money, I'll make sure to call some thick calls your way. And literally the next play, they're like, yeah, penalty on other team, 10-yard penalty. And then they replaced the ref the next game, and the ref was like, if you guys can't win, I'll help you cheat.
I feel like this might have some repercussions down the line if you're playing a career, though.
Probably.
But then again, it's the Genesis.
It was just really funny. Plus, with the killable mutants and flying off the field into space was cool too.
Yeah, this game was just real fucking. It's like shut your brain off good.
Yeah, I would play it again.
I am gonna play it. I'm gonna bring it to work with me. Actually, it's gonna be my work game. So.
Nice.
Well, I really like the audible plays you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So things like the ball will explode. You have jetpacks. Just anything to cause some horrific damage in some way. I think one was invisibility, where you can't even see the guy attacking you.
This game is just good, man.
Yeah, you can. So Josh, the whole bribing the ref thing, you can do that. I think only twice per game. Nice. So once per half.
No.
It was funny though. Oh, I see you paid me off. I'll give you some calls your way. Wow, thanks.
Do you think it's possible that you can like pay off the ref and they go, "Psych, took your money, bitch"?
Yeah, probably.
Well, it was really what I found funny as well was a lot of the players were kind of humorous versions of real life football players of the time. They did the same thing in the hockey game. Mm-hmm. A lot of it's the same in both of these games. Well, there's Bones Jackson, supposed to be Bo Jackson, and then I'm pretty sure Scary Ice was Jerry Rice.
There's a lot of funny like little names in there, like
it was very 90s.
Yeah, it was that back when the 90s was very edgy. Used to call a lot of people out. It was fun.
I wish they'd reboot this game too.
That'd be cool. I'd play the shit out of it.
This would be actually really fun and with today's technology and everything. The whole Mutant League series. Do you imagine I'm shocked they never made like a Mutant League baseball game.
Well, I mean, baseball's boring as it is, but you know.
Oh, come on.
That's the worst punishment you could do to someone. Make them watch a full game of baseball without breaks? What are you, inhuman?
I mean, my next game kind of gets there.
Kind of goes into
Your
that.
next game was interesting, though.
The Mutant League games are surprisingly competitive, too. Oh, yeah. I found the computer not too hard, not too easy. The whole aspect of the career mode was it's very standard. You just pick a team and you go through a season basically. But even then, it was very addictive.
I don't need any more out of the sports game than that, though. Like I go straight to exhibition all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to play the game real quick. That's the problem with football, or not football, just sports games in general. It's like I kind of just want to play a game or two of my favorite sport, and then go play a different game.
Yeah.
Going into this, I thought it was going to be more of a no holds barred type game, but there's still a lot of the same
football rules.
Hockey and football rules, like pass interference is still there, offsides is still there, so you actually have to play it like a football game, and then it goes into utter chaos.
So once the ball snaps, there's no rules. Just don't touch the guy before.
Once the ball snaps, there's no rules except for
don't
pass
touch the guy
interference.
until you touch the ball.
But then there's landmines and shit on the field, fire pits,
as it should be.
Holes in the ice in terms of the hockey game. Try and knock players in the ice.
The mutant game was just fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't really have much to complain about with the Mutant League series.
The
in
problem
general.
with like the sports games, though, sorry, I cut you off. The problem with like the sports games, though, for like the older games, is there's not really much in them. So like they put.
No, it is very bare bones.
So it's not like an old school RPG where they have all these different elements. It's like, this is the game. Have fun.
What team were you?
I was the Monsters.
Slammers.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like the name of the Slammers.
Yeah, well, us Monsters beat you guys, so we're better than you.
Hey, see, here's where I see where you're going with this joke. I'm gonna cut you off right now. I actually played, so I was a part of that team. So your joke sounds good, doesn't work.
The only thing, though, is not a joke, is I actually won, so, you know.
Oh, well, I'll go fuck myself then.
Yeah.
My bad.
I was pretty fond of the Road Warriors because it reminded me of the old wrestling tag team.
What?
The Road
I didn't
Warriors.
watch a lot of wrestling. I had better things to do, like have a life. No, I'm kidding. Don't hate me, WWE fans. I'm kidding.
Now, there was a Mutant League basketball game in development, but it was never released, which I'm kind of sad about. That would have been fun.
That would have been interesting. It would have been like
hardcore. That's because NBA Jam was so popular at the time.
It would have been like Space Jam.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would have been.
Except good, because Space Jam, the game, was real bad.
Come on and slam.
Could you imagine you going up for a 3-point shot and there's like 1 second left and all you do is spear the guy and rip him in half?
Yeah.
Fucking cool.
I'm just gonna go ahead and call that charging.
That's gonna be a blocking foul on the defense, maybe?
Unless you give me $5, kid.
Hey, I don't know how to call this one. You know what? Travel.
Just let me a $5 and I'll turn my head the other way. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, Mutant League football.
Slip the ref a 5 with 5 seconds left.
He just hands you another player's spine. Will this do? Yeah. Stop the clock. 3 foul shots.
Guys going up for like a turnaround slam dunk, and you just pull out a shotgun, blow them away.
Yeah, the ref
This
blows
just
him
turned
away.
into like Mafia.
The ref blows him away.
So these are all ideas we're going to pitch to EA when we talk about Mutant League football to them?
Yeah. These are my ideas. These are our ideas, not yours.
This game deserves a remake.
Hashtag hug life.
So I'm really disappointed the Mutant League basketball game would never happened. Did you guys know that there was actually a animated series called Mutant League?
No.
In the early 90s or mid 90s?
Why?
Yeah.
Like on purpose?
On purpose? No, it was an accident. They just drew them up and it came out. Look at this. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it was based on both the hockey and football game, and it ran for 2 seasons. There's over 40 episodes.
That's real
I think.
Dumb. I guess they'll make an anime out of anything.
Well, this was more or less a cartoon show, not an
Either
anime.
way, they'll make an animation out of anything.
Yeah, the show takes place, with the whole radiation, earthquake, toxic waste mutates all these players, and now all these like famous dudes are mutated into monsters, and they play all the same sports.
I mean, interesting idea, but still kind of dumb.
Apparently, the show wasn't just football and hockey. They also did basketball, soccer, baseball, volleyball. Like each episode was kind of a different sport.
So
There was even one with sumo wrestling.
That's weird.
that's fucked up.
So, man, if the show took off, they could have had a lot of Mutant League games. That would have been really fun.
Glad it didn't.
Aww.
Lit.
Oh, shut up.
Fuck you.
Give him the poop, Console Cav.
I'll give them the business.
Yeah, I have really nothing to complain about. Even though the Mutant League games were very bare bones, the games were fantastic.
I'll give it, good game, better with somebody else to play with.
Yes, it's much better when you're playing with or against someone.
I'll give it 4 leaky houses out of a bucket.
Sure. Good rating. Yeah.
I give it 7 hot peppers out of chessboard.
I give it the perfect 5 out of 7.
Sweet.
So Kevin, what's our next game here?
Da-da-da, da-da-da. That was the football thing, I think. It was Cyber Stadium Series Base Wars for the NES. Or if you're a normal human, Base Wars for the NES.
Yeah.
This is a baseball game set in the distant year of, 1999, I think, probably.
Distant.
Well, that's because they all say that.
Yeah.
And it's essentially baseball in space, but you get to play as a bunch of robots, whether the robots float, they're on a unicycle, they are bipedal.
Tanks.
Tanks. And the whole gimmick behind this game, other than playing baseball, is that when if you're fielding and you throw the ball to a base and a runner hits, you have the option of fighting that robot. It'll pop up randomly, but whatever. And it's a fight to the death.
Good old fashioned. The fighting reminded me a lot of Blades of Steel.
Yeah, kind of.
How you fight in that game?
Yeah, well, it's a Konami game, so
that's
essentially that.
Going into this game, I was like, "Oh, great, a fucking baseball game." So I popped the game. I started the game, and I was like, "Okay, let's hit the ball, I guess." And I got into a fight with the second baseman. I was like, "What the hell's going on here?"
I wouldn't pick a baseball game if it was just a baseball game, man.
I honestly thought it was just another baseball game with a sci-fi twist, and then it hit me. Literally.
Yeah. It's cool. It's just, I don't know. I think I saw this first on, Classic Game Room or something, and I was like, that's just a stupid baseball game. Oh, those are robots fighting. See, this is, something that I wish got, some kind of sequel. Even on Super Nintendo, I can imagine, better graphics and more buttons, get into, a real good street fight with the robots.
Yeah.
Because eventually what it came down to is I was the guy with the UFO, and I kind of, mashed A a whole lot, or B, whatever it was, and it just, humped the other robots to death eventually.
Yeah, that's kind of how I only won one fight out of all the fights I had done.
Really?
Only one.
No, the fights were very, very hard to win, I felt. Against the computer, anyways.
I think it was more you just gotta get the lineup just right. You gotta know your robot's range.
Yeah, fair enough.
Once you did that, it was kind of I win.
I don't know about you guys, but honestly, like pitching the ball and playing outfield more than I did playing at bat.
Really?
Yeah. Hitting the ball wasn't. I don't know. Shooting the ball was a lot more fun than it was to hit it.
Shooting the ball, yes, basketball.
Well, because you shot it out of a gun.
because the pitcher had the ball comes out of its arm tank cannon.
Right.
So as Josh said, shooting it's probably the better term for it in this case.
It was just cool to watch the ridiculous amount of curves you could put on the ball.
So if you fight and you lose 3 robots on a team, you can force that person to forfeit.
Huh. Well, it makes sense.
Because I ended up losing a few of them by getting into fights. I lost 3 straight fights, and then I had to forfeit the game because I no longer have enough players on the field.
Fair enough.
Well, don't suck.
Yeah, get good, scrub.
And the players actually have this energy bar, if you guys noticed.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh, so yeah, they did.
It's basically, think of it like a real-life player having a stamina meter, and over the course of the game, they get more and more tired. Though that's what these robots have. I at first I thought it was basically their battery power going out.
Well, it might as well be. I think you can up the stats of your players too if you do a career.
Yeah.
Which was I kind of like that.
I like how they use they put their little story beforehand where baseball owners are tired of paying players their crazy salaries, so they just make robots instead.
That's how it's going to turn out for baseball.
That's how all the sports are probably going to turn out. the owners in football are gonna fire their players for kneeling for the national anthem, and then they'll just make robots instead. They won't have to worry about concussions.
I don't want to cut you off or anything, but for some reason, Drew is playing a game called Genital Jousting.
Alright, hold up, missed something. What?
So, I have the Discord window open, and it said Drew just finished streaming, and went to a game called, so he's playing Genital Jousting.
You know, we could have played it too for a sport.
Are you not familiar with this game?
No, I'm not.
Alright, it's, you're a dick and balls, and you're trying to put the penis into the back end of the balls.
As in real life, yes. That's how sex works.
Yeah, well, I know how sex works. I've had like 10 sex, okay? I know how it works.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I've had like 10 sex.
Yeah.
I know how it works. I was just asking for a friend.
They feel like sandbags, right?
Yeah, they feel like warm bags of sand.
And Josh, for the record, that is the actual game.
Are you
I'm not
serious?
even kidding.
That's actually a game?
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
I know what my next purchase is going to be.
Yeah, fuck all these AAA games coming out.
Fighting the ball. Actually, one more thing, because AAA game, or not AAA, but Stick of Truth or Fractured Butthole comes out in 2 days.
Heyo.
It sure does, doesn't it?
I can't wait. Oh my god.
And it comes free with Stick of Truth.
Nice. I already have Stick of Truth.
Or Stick of Truth comes with it for free.
But those are such games. Okay, let's get back on track. Sorry about that.
I found this game okay for the most part. It felt like Konami, because it was actually published by Ultra, which is, I guess, a subsidiary of Konami. Mm-hmm. So they're still owned by Konami, but they're a different publishing group. This game felt like a hybrid between the Tecmo baseball game and the SNK baseball, which I think SNK baseball is the best baseball game on the NES, personally. And this game wasn't as refined as that. It felt more towards Tecmo, so a lot of the players will flash in and out on the screen. The hitting mechanics of the players were very, to use upon, hit and miss. So it wasn't consistent.
That was lit.
I honestly just wanted to play SNK baseball more instead of this. The fighting's just a cool little mechanic, and the fact that you can lose players was a nice little mechanic, but I just didn't think this game had a lot of depth.
Bad pick.
It's okay, but again, I would have rather just played SNK baseball instead. Yeah.
Well, whatever. I give it 10 Sonic rings out of 5 Mario pipes.
I give it 3 Aveeno baby lotion bottles out of 5 tall cups of glass.
God damn it. It's a real good rating.
That's a good rating. I know.
That's a good rating right there.
It's a good rating. Could use some fix-ups, but it's a good rating nonetheless.
So we're gonna go on to my games now?
Oh, absolutely.
I have the best games.
Yes, you do.
Jeez, that's kind of biased.
Yes, JD has the best games, so in which case we'll skip those and go right to mine.
Perfect. Say the best for life. Nobody has a fucking Master System. Get over it, JD.
Oh, man. I just got 2 more Master System games.
Yeah, because nobody else is fucking buying them, you nerd.
This just in. During the podcast, JD also bought, what was it we were talking about? A PS...
Dick and balls.
Oh, no, the Atari... Well, yes, but he also bought an Atari 7800. You can hear him typing in the background.
Yeah.
I did no such thing.
It comes with a beer
so my
holder.
first game... It comes with a beer holder in the back next to your electronics.
Yeah. Make sure you open it sideways too, so it cools off the computer while you're playing.
Oh man, that's how I cool my computer fans. You didn't know that.
Okay, what do we get?
So my first pick was called Basketball Nightmare. Published and developed by Sega in 1989, and here's the funny part: it only came out in Europe, Canada, and Brazil.
Oh, the best places where they only play basketball.
Dude, the best part was when I was looking this up, I didn't even see a Canadian release. I just seen Europe and Brazil.
This looked like a shitty version of Mega Man Soccer.
It's a bad game.
It's real bad. Oops, sucks.
Dude, it sucks so bad. Like, I didn't think there was music at first. And I was playing with, so I was playing on my, like, my TV is like my computer monitor, my obviously hook my games to it, but, like, I didn't think there was any fucking sound in the game. And I was playing with my TV at like 25. I had to turn up to 75 just to finally hear a little bit of sound.
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
Kind of bad. I don't even give this a single bottle of lotion. Out of 3 rolls of toilet paper.
The only cool thing is about it when you would go to like Dunkin' and do that little animation real quick. But that was it.
The only kind of cool thing was you could miss a slam dunk and there was an animation for it.
The only cool thing about this
there
game
sure
was I could shut it off.
It was the same animation every time.
It was dumb. I got to level 2 and I was like, this game's fucking stupid.
You got to level 2?
Yeah, I didn't play much after the first game itself. So you can choose between a 15-minute game, a 30-minute, and a 45-minute. I don't know why you would do more than 15.
Can you choose like honestly? a 3-minute? Like, because I don't know.
No, see, there's a secret feature where you go 15, 30, 45, and if you beat the game on 45 minutes, you unlock the 1-year mode. Where the game actually lasts 365 days, no pause.
Can you just shut it off and play a better game instead?
No, it stays on. It turns into an Atari 7800 and laughs and laughs and laughs.
Nice.
So what this game is you're these like chibi anime style characters, and you're fighting. You're in a basketball tournament against essentially
shitty controls.
Yeah,
against monsters. So level 1's against werewolves, and then it'll just go on, and there you you play against vampires, geishas, and samurais. So there's this weird Japanese theme to it, even though it never came out in Japan.
It was just the game even has a stupid premise. The captain of a basketball team fell asleep and started having nightmares. So 5 of him started playing 5 monsters. This game was fucking stupid.
So the shooting mechanics are god awful. I don't know how anyone can make a jump shot in the entire game.
You don't even have to shoot. Just slam dunk the fucking ball. Don't even do anything else.
Yeah, so the players are constantly flashing on and off on the screen. It's much worse than anything experienced in Base Wars.
I thought that was just like, is that part of the game, or is it just like really shitty like processing? I don't even know what I use.
It just can't handle that many sprites on the screen.
I thought it was an indicator of who to pass to at the time.
Fucking who cares at this point?
Yeah, who cares at this point? No bottles of lotion.
Well, that's generally what it's supposed to be, but there's just too much shit happening on the screen for the Master System to handle. And you see this in a lot of sports games on the NES as well, with the Tecmo games particularly.
We wonder why the Master System never made it farther than what it did.
Oh, it was fine. It was fine. I mean, but like you said, Josh, all you do is run to the hoop and slam dunk it every time. That's all you can do, because if you shoot, you're gonna miss every time. If you pass, it's probably gonna get picked off by the opposing team, and the ball will go out of bounds almost every time. If you shoot it, it's going to go out of bounds. No one can rebound in the game.
Defense consists of just walking into the other player and taking the ball.
If the game allows it. Because the game just chooses when to allow it.
Like, I ran with a guy from their hoop all the way to my hoop, and he slam dunked it. I was like, why did this work?
And it's every time.
Stupidest
It's all you can do
ever. And we've played some dumb ones on this cast.
There's not much beyond just that. The fact that the sprites will go on top of each other and you still can't take the ball was probably the most irritating.
The real nightmare is the fact that people liked it.
Who?
I don't know anyone who knows of this game.
Well, just because we don't. I'm sure there's someone out there that's probably like, fuck you guys, I love that game.
This game sucks.
And to you, sir, I say your favorite game sucks.
Yeah.
His life's falling apart. Be nice.
Well, if he likes Basketball Nightmares, so you can't really blame him for his life falling apart. Doing it to himself.
Yeah.
Him or herself. I shouldn't be sexist like that.
It's no wonder it only came out in Europe and then 2 other countries.
Yeah, the trash countries.
I just like how it came out in Canada, but not America.
The trash countries.
Yeah, because we just love basketball up here in the Great White North.
It's always cold enough you can go play all the time.
Yeah, when I was looking for games, I was like, oh my god, this game came out in Canada and not America. I have to choose it, and it looks ridiculous. Oh, it was ridiculous.
I feel
ridiculously
like you did
bad.
what I did when I was looking for sports games, like shitty sports games, and I got these ones.
And then my hopes and dreams were crushed today.
Although to be honest, I like to think that my picks were actually pretty dope.
Well, we'll get to you. How you calm your shit?
We'll get to you. So my second and last pick was a game I wanted to play a lot growing up.
Obviously,
but I had. Yeah, well, judging by my sport background, I had to do it. It's called Animaniacs 10-Pin Alley.
Yeah, this was a game that existed once.
That was.
So, are you guys familiar with the Animaniacs at all?
I am. I like the Genesis game.
Okay.
I like the cartoon. So, this game in particular, and I'm double checking a fact here real quick. Yes. Okay. So it was published by the same company. So growing up, I had a game called 10-Pin Alley, and it was published by ASC Games, and Animaniacs 10-Pin Alley was published by the same company and developed by Sapphire Corporation. So they're even though they were developed, they had the same engine from the publisher. So playing it, I was like, okay, I've played 10-Pin Alley. I know exactly what the mechanics are. So basically, you're a bunch of Animaniac characters. So there's some love there to begin with. And then the bowling mechanics are: you press X to start your approach, you press X on the backswing, and you press X for release. So, and then that's the accuracy meter. So it's similar to, say, Hot Shots Golf and swinging the club, or even... no, it's exactly like that. The same sort of concept. And you have a very slim amount of choices between what balls you use, and then your characters have different attributes, such as power or hook. But the game wasn't based on that. The game was based on how the ball went down the court. Or not the court, the lane, sorry. And that was interesting. I love that little touch.
No, and that's what 10-Pin Alley... That's why I really liked 10-Pin Alley growing up, is they actually had oil and lane conditions, and how the oil will actually change over the course of the game.
But how the ball would bounce around, or go side to side, or jump onto the bumpers and jump off the bumpers, or they would float to the pins. And
so that's where the Animaniacs 10-Pin Alley is much different than 10-Pin Alley. So yeah, you have bumpers. You have, like, to the side there's like a lane that's broken and it has a ramp.
No, this game is actually, surprisingly, for a bowling game, I thought it was going to be boring, because I figured it'd be like most boring games. You find that one sweet spot between the two arrows and you throw it as hard as you can, and you get a strike.
Well, that's like Wii
you
bowling.
Get that sweet spot, you get a strike every time, and it's almost impossible to miss. But it was just like, even when the game first started up, that cinematic right at the beginning was pretty interesting, because I mean, it's the Animaniacs, and then I loved the menu. I did, because every time it moved, it would play a little note for a little part of a song. I spent like 2 to 3 minutes just in the menu, just moving it around.
Game was okay.
So, upon a character getting a strike, they do a little animation, and once you get 3 strikes in a row, otherwise known as a turkey, guys, then it would do a special animation, and then it would do pretty much the same thing until you would not get any more in a row. That makes any sense? So, for example, a certain character will flex their muscles uncontrollably, or
Same.
Dot would have a cute little...
Doing it right now.
Maybe I'm not. Whatever.
I see you.
If you wouldn't release the ball on time, like, the ball would stick in their hand and they end up doing a backflip and land on the ground. So there was a lot of comedic animations with the game, but that was very much the same as 10-Pin Alley.
I'm glad it wasn't stuffy and boring, and I'm just happy they were able to capture the wild side of the Animaniacs, even like the silliness of the ball, to the music, like even the dance, like you said, the dances they do after they get a strike or even a spare. I was happy that they made they wasn't just a stuffy and boring bowling game. They kind of made it a little sillier just to kind of capture the spirit of the Animaniacs. Like I said, growing up watching that, it felt like nostalgic. It felt nice to see that again.
Yeah, did you like the kind of opening scene where it's Pinky and the Brain, and they believe Brain believes bowling's gonna take over the world?
Oh yeah. Brain's like, we're gonna take over the world with bowling. Yeah.
So that's the whole premise of the game.
Because it needed a story.
Well, bowling is gonna take over the world.
It's just a random thing to be like, know what the Animaniacs need? A bowling game. Like.
But I mean, at the time, right? The Animaniacs were so big they could put Animaniacs on fucking anything and it would sell.
No. Yeah, and that's I get that. It's just weird that this exists.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It is really weird, but I'm kind of happy that it does. I'm never gonna play this game again, but it's just cool to see.
The only thing
did you ever unlock any of the characters' special powers?
I just played a few quick games to kind of get the game. I dabbled.
Wow. You dabbled. Well, I mean, there isn't a lot of
depth.
It's a bowling game. There's not much to it other than that, but surprisingly enough, there's a lot of special powers. There's different like alleys you can choose with different little quirks to each lane and each alley. So it was a lot. I found it a lot of fun. I did find the pin physics a bit off, but they aren't nearly as bad as some other bowling games I've played.
My favorite thing about that, it's happened once that I was doing it. I threw the ball at max power for a strike. It was going for a strike, but it rolled up the lane very slowly, and then it cut to the
too much power.
Yeah, it went down the lane very, very slowly, and then as it's going down the lane very slowly, it cuts to the pins, and next thing you know, this thing flies through with flames behind it and literally blows up the pins. It was funny. I was laughing my ass off.
Too much.
Yeah, that would be one of the special powers.
You were going so fast that the frame rate couldn't keep up. Is all.
No, it was funny. It was really funny. Unlimited power.
Must have been what it felt like.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh boy. Kevin, what did you think of the game?
It's okay. It's just that awkward PS1 like polygonal style. I just didn't want to look at it.
Yeah, it was
other than that, like gameplay's fine. Like I agree with everything you guys saying. It's just kind of an ugly looking game.
I didn't think it looked that bad.
Yeah, it's just anything from that era to me. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, it is pretty awkward to look at.
Any 3D game from that era.
I'm a bit of a weirdo though when it comes. I think the PlayStation and Sega Saturn graphics are fun.
Yeah, you and the Saturn.
Yeah, you and the frickin' Saturn.
Hey, at least they're not like completely blocky like N64.
N64 is a trash console overall. All right.
Don't talk shit about the N64. I'll come and fight you.
If I had a loaded gun, I'd throw it at you. Okay. Like,
well, speaking of the N64, an N64 version of this game was in early development, but it was quickly canceled and never released.
Smart move.
Very smart move.
Yeah, so it only came out on the PlayStation, and this game only came out in North America.
Because what other countries are really caring about bowling? To be fair.
Yeah.
Or the Animaniacs.
That's a better reason.
Yeah, the Animaniacs were very much a North America thing.
Who else cares about the Animaniacs? Honestly.
Yeah,
Warner Brothers.
Because its predecessor, Tin Pin Alley, came out pretty much everywhere, I think, or at least it was across a lot of different consoles.
But not the N64.
No, the N64 didn't like having different games.
Yeah, well, the N64 had to be made by Rare or nothing. Thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so we're on to your
picks, Josh. Wait, hold up, serious moment. Before we start this, I gotta take a wicked piss.
Okay, we'll talk about the next game.
Josh
in a bit.
Josh will talk. No, Josh, you can talk, and Kevin will just go away for a little bit.
All right,
put the cardboard.
I'll be right back. Fuck you too. Eat shit.
So the next game we're going to talk about is NFL Blitz on the Nintendo 64, developed and produced by Midway Games. It was released originally in 1997 on the arcade and ported to the console in 1998. And honestly, my immediate reaction was, I love this game. For the over-the-top action. I loved it.
It is a lot of fun.
The flames following the kickoff, huge hits. Even like you can hit the players after the game, after the play. My personal favorite one was the ground pound when you hit them. Yeah, the butt slam. And even the touchdowns, like the celebrations, it really reminded me of like old time football, but like obviously over the top. It was awesome.
I feel like they were emulating a lot of Jerry Rice routines.
It was awesome, man. I honestly really love this game. The gameplay, like the game wasn't overly difficult, but like with everyone being so large, it was tough. Like if you didn't know football at all, it's tough to see what's going on the screen. It's tough to lose track of what's going on.
It's very much an arcade game. You got to be real quick with your choices with a lot of the plays and defensive plays. What really
interested me though was the fact that they did so many reverse passes. Like those were really highly encouraged in that game. I was really surprised considering you don't really see that much anymore. So like there was one play like he passed it like twice behind the line of scrimmage and then threw the ball down the field. To which I immediately grabbed the guy by the face mask and threw him on the ground. Yeah, I love this game. I'm not even being.
I played the PlayStation version myself.
64 version, loved it. I'm not being biased because it's my own pick, but I honestly like this game the most.
I thought it was very easy to pick up and play compared to any other game on the list, easy. For sure.
I don't remember if there was a multiplayer or not, but I want to get a friend over and I want to play it with them.
Oh, there's definitely multiplayer.
Like I didn't think there wasn't one, but I want to.
And you have real players in it from the late '90s. You have Brett Favre, Drew Bledsoe, real teams, real rosters. It's a lot of fun.
Limited playbook though.
Yeah, for the most part, but it is an arcade game.
The cardboard cutout, Kevin Spunk.
Or arcade port.
Hey. Sounds good here.
What did you think of NFL Blitz, Kevin?
This is actually the game that was like one of the first sports games I think I remember playing with my older brother. And this is actually the game that taught me how to play football correctly because he was an asshole, and he was like, "No, my end zone's up. You have to run down to score."
Wow!
And I got safeties all the time.
Your brother is an asshole. I'm gonna kneel during the anthem for you.
Yeah, thank you. So, this taught me how to play football the right way. I like this game, but I found a lot of holes with it. Like, there's one play where the offense will leave a giant hole on the left side or the right side of their line.
The turmoil
Yeah,
play.
and I can always blitz through it and just sack all the time.
I don't remember that play.
I don't remember the exact play.
It works for offense, but it doesn't work for defense.
No, it's real bad. But, like, I don't know, this game was good. It was the start of like that really violent sports game because you could like suplex people. You could keep clotheslining them and tackling them after the whistle.
Yeah,
it's real good. I like this game.
Yeah, the game got really crazier. It got crazier and crazier with each iteration. It seemed they even started making up different player names. Didn't they lose the license eventually? I think they did.
Probably.
Yeah, they did. So
then it was made up player names.
Well, I mean, the Blitz series they did lose their license, and eventually it got turned into NFL Street.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah, that's the whole like basis of the whole Street games was kind of basically the same thing.
Okay, and Midway made the Street series.
EA made them. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the people that made this, because this was made by Midway. I'm saying that Midway basically lost the whole series to EA because they made NFL Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Yeah, this game was very heavily influenced on the NBA Jam success.
Yeah, like Kevin had said, the whole thing with like the violence and the over-the-top violence in the sports games, it made it feel more cartoonish. To me, I actually felt a little bit more alive than a lot of the other sports games at the time.
Also, with how overly steroided all the players were.
Oh my god, that was really like I said when you were gone. I said one of the biggest things was it was easy to lose track of what was happening if you don't know what's going on, like football wise. If you've never watched or played football, you're like, everybody's running in different directions. What's fucking going on? And everyone's massive and everyone's jacked. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, it was seemingly the same sprite on the screen over and over again, just with different color palette. And I mean, that was synonymous with the time. Not a big complaint, but it was hard making a quick decision because the player you'd be passing to wouldn't even flash. Not really. It would just be a bright white sprite. Yeah. That's who you know you're going to pass to, and that would, if you're playing against a friend, he would know to immediately try and tackle that guy out of the way so you can't pass to him.
But also you'd have to worry about there's no running plays really in this game either.
No, they use more reverse plays, reverse passes. Actually, I forgot to bring this up with Mutant Football League. The passing in that was almost as difficult as it was in this game, only because you had 3 windows on the top of your screen. And it's like, well, I guess I'll pass to the guy that has no other colors around him, and then you threw it and he was covered, he was double covered.
With magic.
Yeah,
it's tough to definitely see where you're going to pass downfield.
So passing has definitely got a lot better as time has gone on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's especially in NFL Blitz, and the same goes for Mutant League Football. The camera just seems to be too zoomed in.
Yeah.
And I don't believe you could zoom out of the camera.
Not that I know of, no.
I think it was a pretty fixed viewpoint of the field. Correct?
You're right.
Yeah, they didn't keep it character centered.
I always found that the best way to get a pass in this game was turbo, pull back as far as you can, launch the ball when you're about to get tackled, instant touchdown.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, just keep running backwards. And
I liked being the Kansas City Chiefs for some reason in this
game.
game.
I like the color palette that they use, so I could see that.
Just this bright red team.
Yeah. I was actually the Cardinals a lot when I played this.
I think I picked the Ravens.
Josh?
I wanted to pick something different.
If you guys are interested in still playing this, EA remade this, and they put it out on PSN, Xbox 360.
Nice.
It's actually a pretty good remake. It's pretty faithful.
The Houston Oilers are still a team in this.
Yeah, great.
Everyone's favorite.
Yay.
Oh, well.
Yeah, fun game.
Yeah,
fun game.
I give it
good choice.
3 deflated footballs out of 5 Super Bowls.
The what?
I give it 3 deflated footballs out of 5 Super Bowls.
I give it 2 ovaries out of 1 sperm.
Nice. That's the good writing.
Wow.
Is there a universal list of all our ratings for these games, JD? Because I want these on there.
You know what we could do?
What's that?
We could. I could send you a list of all the games we've played, and then out of, I don't know. Would you guys prefer an out of 5 or 10 scale?
10 would be a little easier.
See, I'm not a number guy. I like the letter rating system because when I
okay, you want to do A to F then?
Yeah, because when I hear 7 out of 10, I think a 70, a C.
Yeah.
When 70 is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. We'll come up with our own, and we can actually compare it with people who are listening if they care to do them too.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, okay. So starting on the next cast we do, we'll give each game
Sounds
a grade.
Nice.
A letter grade. And I'll send you guys, when I get the time, I'll send you guys a list of all the games we played, and we can go through we can just give them all a grade, and I'll make a little Excel sheet. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to do. So our last game, Josh, is probably the pick of the podcast.
Pick 3 different ones because you guys never but you guys always make me pick a different game.
Hold up.
Kevin,
don't speak for me.
You were as much of an advocate as JD was this time to not. I don't even remember the original game I picked.
I was gonna say I don't remember shitting on anything you picked, you piece of shit.
You and JD were like, "We don't like your pick. It's for the computer." I was like, "But we did computer games before." He's like, "Yeah, but it's not the same." And I was like, "Oh, fine, this game then."
I was just fucking with you. Fuck PC games. That's all. Those are machines used to make games for my game system.
So this was a game that I always have to repick at least once a series or a thing. So the game I picked was Ninja Golf for the Atari 7800, which JD Howe has on order, which is coming next day due to Amazon Prime. Don't forget to go out and get Amazon Prime. Amazon, please sponsor us. Look at the good job I'm doing. So this was developed by Blue Sky Software, published by Atari Corporation, and it was released in 1990.
It's the fucking best game.
So originally, like I said, I picked this as a joke because they made me repick the fucking game again, and that wasn't going to take it seriously at all, and I did not know at all what I was getting into, and well, I didn't take the intro seriously. So as soon as I fired up this game and seen a side-scrolling golf, I was like, okay, this is gonna suck. So I whacked the ball, and then all of a sudden ninjas everywhere, and it was so funny because, like I said, I didn't take this intro seriously. And I gotta fight my way back to the ball, and honestly, I just thought it was interesting. I had quite a bit of fun playing the first like 3 levels.
Fought dragons.
Yeah, but like that was the biggest thing that caught me by surprise. At the end of the thing, I was like, oh, I got to the flag. It's like, nope, there was a giant dragon. Throw stars at it. The ultimate final battle.
Well, I mean, what is golf if you're not throwing shurikens at a dragon?
Yeah.
Moving left and right, throwing fireballs
And
at
the
you
best
in
part
constant
was
motion.
the way his wings would flap and like the fireball. I honestly thought that the sound effects for his wings flapping was like the background music for the fight.
Nope.
Because it actually was rhythmic. So I was like, oh, wow, this is pretty interesting.
Completely coincidental.
Yeah, completely coincidental. I actually enjoyed this game for the most part, but it doesn't seem very replayable. So I'd say it's one of those games you pick up with some friends just so you can show them how ridiculous it is.
No, this game is. I'm playing this over and over.
It was so dumb and so silly that like
It's fucking great.
it was like you could just I don't know, it was interesting. It wasn't dumb like Basketball Nightmares was, but it was dumb in the fact like, oh look, I'm this ninja, and it's like you've trained for what 7 to 9 years in Ninja Academy, and now you're ready for the ultimate test, Ninja Golf. And I was like,
little did he know he's going to retire in 7 to 9 years anyway.
yeah.
It's like I might as well do this.
Little did you know that the ninja that actually goes through these 9 holes later comes out to actually be Tiger Woods.
Oh, didn't know that.
What a twist, right?
That's canonical, I've heard.
That was totally made up by me. Headcanon. That's if at all. That was my.
Yeah, there's no way that was right. Because it's like Tiger Woods.
That was
I'm
my
pretty sure.
idea.
I'm pretty sure Tiger Woods was like
I don't know
10
That was
at the
my
time.
I don't know
idea,
sports guys.
not yours.
Why you gotta make fun of me?
I know my sports. I know like 10 sports.
Sports ball.
I'm really good at sports.
Yeah, this game's weird. I would play it again, but it's the only thing I want on an Atari 7800 at all.
That's the reason JD has it coming in through Amazon Prime, which is actually I think has a deal going on right now. So,
oh my god, you're terrible. The only thing we're sponsored by is David's Tea.
Head down
which,
to
by the way, I'm
Amazon.com
drinking.
/Redleaf Retrocast /David's Tea to Amazon Prime yourself some David's
yes,
Tea.
David's Tea. Or what you
No,
can do is you can go
that's
to
not how it
lootcrate.com, promo code Redleaf Retrocast. Please, someone help us out, okay? We're trying our best here, okay?
If you want to cook your own David's Tea, blueapron.com /Redleaf Retrocast.
And if you want to, get that process expedited, you go on Google and look up the Lemon Party, and you will actually that will come about 2 days quicker, and you get 25% off with promo code Moosenspiel, and you will get 20% off your Amazon Prime purchase from Lemon Party.
You guys are making so much shit up right now.
You know what?
Don't.
We also
no.
sell pens. Go to penisland.com /Redleaf Retrocast.
Do it. It's totally legit. Did it myself. I rated it a solid 2 dimes out of 3 loonies.
It's a very solid website.
It is.
Very,
Highly
very firm.
Ninja Golf for the 78. I really had a lot of fun with it. It did get a little repetitive after a while, but I didn't really have too much of an issue with it, especially on an Atari system of all things.
Did you have
the fact that it was a side scroller? I thought the hit detection was decent enough. I really liked how I really liked the enemy variation. Yeah, when you hit the ball into
you have to walk through it.
a water hazard, you encounter sharks.
All you had to do was walk through the environment and it would change.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to hit the ball. You could hit the ball over the water trap. You still had to walk through it.
Yeah, but the if you hit it into the water, he physically actually goes into the water and hits the ball out of the water.
I liked.
So I thought that was really funny. I was like, shit, I got a water hazard, and nope, you still have to go into it.
I like hitting the ball into the rough because avoiding the frogs was actually super tough. No, I
didn't like it, or you did?
It was silly.
Okay.
The frogs were so huge.
Well, Gophers were in the rough,
Gophers
weren't
were on
they?
the fairway.
Didn't the animals change when you go into the
that's
the
where
rough though?
Depends on the terrain you're on.
Well, I mean, the frogs were in the rough. The gophers were on the fairway. There were birds in the forest or in the trees. The sharks were in the water.
Yeah, and they were.
And then there was the different colored ninjas.
Oh, the birds were the worst.
Pain in the ass because I wasn't about to waste all my shurikens on them in the air. Fuck that.
Fuck birds.
Yeah, and so the birds basically
birds.
They don't so much shit out eggs. They don't really shit out eggs. I think they just poo on you, and that's what kills you because your character does have a health bar.
A lot of health too,
and he does have a lot of health. I thought the game was pretty forgiving.
He's a ninja.
Yeah, he's a ninja. He's supposed to be sneaky, not take a million hits.
Well, how can he? Well, he's fighting animals. Animals are sneaky.
He's a fucking ninja.
You have one coming up from the ground,
Shinobi
man.
aren't strong. Well, they're strong, but they're not healthy.
They eat a lot of sake.
Yeah,
I've never played an Atari 7800 game before, and this one was a great first for me.
right. And this is why he has an Atari 7800 coming through with his membership of Amazon Prime. Promo code Redleaf Retrocast.
So I did find out that this was like one of the last like 10 games released on the console. It's
I'd seen that.
Yeah, because they were like, all right, the system's not selling. Fuck it. Who's got an idea? And then fucking Jerry comes through the door drunk as shit, guys. Let's check it out.
Well, the Atari 7800 was backwards compatible with all other Atari games at the time, which was pretty cool.
The only other 7800 games worth it were like the same games.
Yeah.
So Ninja Golf was like a breath of fresh air for the system.
They fucking come out with this game. They're like, listen, we're not going to make money now. We're going to wait 27 years. These three plugs on the internet are going to play it. They're going to broadcast it for us. People are going to buy an Atari 7800 off of Amazon with promo code Redleaf Retrocast.
Yo, everyone right now. Wait.
You're really trying to sell people the 7800.
Hold up. Idea. Atari box is coming out soon, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if we get those developers to put this game on the Atari box exclusive, that thing's gonna sell.
Yeah, I think so.
Ninja Golf is gonna sell the Atari
or
box
some kind of HD release.
Everybody at Atari has to listen to us right now. We at Redleaf Retrocast have the best ideas, and I you can't see me doing the hand thing, but okay. We have
just picture it.
Just picture it. I'll send you guys a link if you guys really want it, and by you guys I mean everybody listening. You can find me on my personal Facebook.
I got Josh's photo bucket account.
Okay, cool. So we have the best ideas. You need to listen to us. We know how to make games sell, obviously, in case you haven't listened to the last 11 podcasts.
If there's an HD re-release of Ninja Golf in like the next 2 weeks, I'm just saying.
Just look at. I'm not
just saying.
The
Atari box announces Ninja Golf HD release for the console
or anything, which we definitely don't. Like that'd be crazy. But if
my uncle that works at Nintendo doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah, so if there is an HD remake of this game of Ninja Golf on the Atari box, you can thank us later with buying our Amazon promo Redleaf Retrocast t-shirts.
Are any of you guys actually interested in the Atari box?
Fuck no.
Cause that fucking thing's like $400.
Yeah, okay, like,
no.
I'd rather buy a PSVR.
Yeah.
For that price?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna.
Did you ever?
Oh yeah.
Did you see what else these guys have plugged on Indiegogo and Kickstarter? Like USB wristbands and like smartwatches that kind of suck. Like they're not trustworthy guys.
What would you need a USB wristband for? To give it
to fucking take your data with you, like. You wear it and then it's a USB
stick.
Check it.
I'm gonna make a GoFundMe page, and basically what it is, it's gonna be this thing that you attach to your pants, and you can put things in it. Okay, you can put these things in it, and they can be various different sizes. I'll make them different sizes depending on the pant type, and I'm gonna call them the P0 CK3Ts.
Ooh,
okay,
yes.
So I'm gonna make those. Go check it out. Go check out GoFundMe. I'm gonna make it as soon as this podcast is done. I'll give everybody who backs this project. I'll give them a free P0 C3KTs. I'll give everyone free ones. I'll give them 4 of them. I'll give you 4 free ones. And if you have cargo pants, I'll give you 6 of them. Depends. Up to you. Depending how much you want to back the project. hashtag Hug Life is to get 10% off, and you can also use promo code Red Leaf Retrocast with your new purchase of Amazon Prime.
Oh my god!
And next day delivery.
All right, what were you guys' favorite and least game?
All right, what would you say, JD?
What was your favorite and least favorite game that we covered?
He's just like, fuck this, and then we're going to go all of them out again. Favorite would probably be, I mean, Ninja Golf had its appeal, but I don't see it lasting, so I don't know. Favorite probably being Mutant League Football, just cause I like the violence of it all. Least favorite being that shitty basketball game you fucking picked.
My favorite was definitely NFL Blitz. My least favorite was also the basketball nightmare game.
Looks like JD and I are in agreements here. I loved NFL Blitz, and I fucking hated basketball nightmares. I will never.
Basketball nightmares was really bad.
Basketball nightmares.
But
Ninja Golf was definitely up there. If it didn't have the repetitiveness, it definitely would have been number one. Yeah. But it's my number two for sure.
My number two may have actually been a tie between Animaniacs Bowling and Ninja Golf.
Yeah.
Wow, Animaniacs Bowling fan.
Yeah, number two. I'm gonna go Ninja Golf because the appeal's there, but
like it.
Actually,
the name alone.
Like we said, next week, few weeks from now, we're just saying, if it comes out HD remake,
Atari Box HD.
Just saying, you heard it here, folks.
Word.
Well, Josh, you have no. I have the next pick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to think on that. I have the next pick. Yay!
Yeah. So watch out for our Twitter and Amazon Prime accounts, and we'll let you guys know what the next topic is. Unless you got an idea for it now.
Yeah, Kevin, what's the word on the possible fourth friend?
Josh is here now. Do we need him?
Wow.
Well, for the future.
Thanks, guys.
Well, let's face it. You getting you two on the same podcast at the same time has been a task.
I'll throw a diva moment. I'ma quit. I'ma do it. I'ma quit.
You're like that girl on the Cosby Show that never showed up except for like one season, but everyone remembers. Denise.
What's the word on it, Kevin?
I mean, I forgot to ask him.
Oh, God. You're terrible.
Dude, I told you, I went on my like really late not an anniversary trip this weekend. I had other shit I was thinking about, but I will ask him.
I don't know if he could join it because he doesn't have an Amazon Prime account.
Neither do I.
Well, I mean, if you use promo code...
God damn it, Josh.
Oh, man. Kevin, where can we find the podcast? Where can people find the podcast?
You can find the podcast on iTunes, mostly. All those ratings help us. Make us number one. If you make us number one, I'll get you a free Amazon Prime account.
Using what promo code?
Fuck JD.
Stop, JD. JD with 3 fire emojis and a single 100 emoji. Or
download it.
I'll give it to you for free.
Download it on iTunes.
I'll give it to you for free
SoundCloud.
if you can type in the personification.
You can just Google Red Leaf Retrocast. You'll find all the YouTube links, all the iTunes, Overcast, iTunes or TuneIn Radio. God, I'm all flustered now.
He's just excited for the Atari
you'll see in the
7800
description.
to come.
You'll see in the description all our Twitter accounts, etc., etc.
Oh, Podomatic.
I hope.
Don't forget Podomatic.
No, it's Podbean.
Okay.
You're incorrect.
Never mind. You're right.
Podbean is the RSS hosting site.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone enjoyed this fairly short podcast, but man, it was a lot of fun. It's definitely one of my favorite we've done. We just keep one-upping ourselves. I'm so happy that all three of us are here together again.
No, you're not. You're like secretly. You're like, I'm going to start drinking heavily tonight.
I'm actually going bowling here.
So drinking heavily. Got it.
Yeah. So he goes bowling with promo code Red Leaf Retrocast. And I'm just going to tell the listeners now. There's a myth going around about Red Leaf Retrocast. I just want to shoot it down.
This myth?
It's pretty negative rumor actually.
Turns out I'm Canadian.
Turns out he's Canadian. Sorry guys. If you guys hear a personification of an 808 horn, we do not appear at your front door.
Oh, you have to look in the mirror
and
say
3 times.
lit 3 times, and then hit the 808 horn, and then we appear behind you.
And then make your face turn into like the laughing emoji with the tears, and we come up behind you with a free Amazon Prime account with promo code Redleaf Retrocast.
Oh my god, I really might just pick a point and click adventure podcast just to piss you guys off.
So, what'd you guys think of King Quest? I didn't fucking play it, JD.
What'd you guys think of King's Quest on the Sega Master System?
I didn't fucking play it, you piece of shit. That's what I think of it.
For 2 or 3 hours, just me and Kevin we didn't fucking even play it. We didn't even look it up on YouTube.
So, Kev, I heard you pick Shadowgate for the NES. How'd you feel about it? Fucking didn't play it. Eat shit.
Didn't play it. Come at me, bro. You didn't want my Amazon Prime account.
Look, here's the 2 genres I'm banning. Point and clicks and real-time strategy.
We already did RTS, didn't we?
Yeah, well, they fucking suck.
Hey, you leave Age of Empires alone.
Alright, I hope everyone had a good time listening. I'll put some random game music that we played on the podcast to end us out.
For Mutant Football League.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's actually a good idea.
I'm into it.
Click.
Oh, and
right,
it has to be the coach's corner after too.
Yeah. Join us for our post-game interview where we talk about the same shit we just talked about for 3 more hours.
And we're out of here.